Okay, happy Friday. I decided to start a little bit earlier this Friday night because I feel like I can't stay up late. So I was thinking about doing lives at 9 p.m. Eastern, but now I'm thinking maybe 8 o'clock, maybe even 7:30. I'm not sure. We're still working that out. I also wasn't sure what I actually wanted to do tonight. I thought about it during the week, and I just decided right when I was getting my desk set up that I wanted to start doodling in my weekly Traveler's notebook for 2023. So I haven't been doing it, and I think maybe it would be smart to start with today and work backwards. So at least I feel like I did something. I don't know. And maybe we'll get crazy and we'll do a little watercoloring too. Um, so I'm just gonna get started. Of course, I can't find my brass clip. Okay, here we go. Whew. Gotta have that. Happy Friday. I hope you all had a good week. Um, if you're watching, go ahead and jot your location in the chat, what you're up to, um, and let us know how your week was. I'm also drinking, I made an iced latte with some soy milk, so excuse my caffeination on a Friday night. But yeah. So I'm just using my, this, I also call it my creative planner. It's a traveler's notebook in the olive edition. It has two notebooks in it, the weekly in horizontal and just a cream colored notebook that I use to kind of manage my ideas and things for my YouTube channel. And I apologize about the wobbliness. I don't know why, but for some reason my tripod when I'm using my phone wobbles, even though it's completely fastened to my shelf that's attached to my desk. I don't know how it's wobbling. It just is. So I apologize for that because when I go live on YouTube, obviously I'm using my iPhone and not my camera, which has a desktop tripod, which somehow doesn't wobble. I don't get it. So let's just get to it. So if you can believe it's February, I cannot believe it's February. So today's Friday, February 3rd. So what my original intention for using a weekly, because this is actually the first time I've gotten a dated Traveler's Notebook insert. I have so many inserts and I've loved Traveler's Notebook for years. And this is the first year I wanted to try a dated insert. And my rationale was I love Traveler's Notebook so much that I didn't want to use it as a planner, especially for work, because I wanted to keep those like parts of my life separate because the joy that it brings me, I didn't want to associate it with writing down notes for work, planning things for work, or even planning things like doctor's appointments and stuff. But this year I was deciding to try it out in lieu of getting a Hobonichi to do my drawings. So as I've mentioned before, last year I got the July Start Hobonichi to kind of use as like a daily doodle of my cat comic, Living the Life Through Me, and doing that. And I figured if it wasn't working out so much in my Hobonichi because of the paper or the bulkiness of it, plus Hobonichis are expensive, why don't I try it my Traveler's Notebook? So it's kind of fusing two things I love, the drawing aspect and the actual Traveler's Notebook aspect. So and let's see if Clampy will stay down. Maybe I'll do Clampy on this side, and then oh wait, I'm totally in the wrong month. What is wrong with me? Okay, that was March. Sorry. I really just... It was a long week, but in a good way, so... Okay. And it's just 8 o'clock now. I wanted to get started a few minutes early just to get my setup going, and maybe it notifies those of you who want to join me. Also, if you're going to join me, go ahead and put in the chat what you're working on, or you don't want to work on anything and you just want to like chat along. That's perfect. Another tip I have is to only pick out what you want to work with so you're not overwhelmed and you actually do stuff. So I picked out my Lamy All-Star, which has the Waterman, no, not Waterman, yeah, Waterman, Serenity Blue ink in it. I decided I do want to maybe watercolor, so I'm choosing this Sakura Micron PN because it's waterproof ink. And then, I don't know, I just grabbed my gray mod liner. It just seemed like a good idea at the time. And then this is my Traveler's Company with art toolkits watercolor palettes. And the little, not airbrush, why do I want to say airbrush? The little water brush that came with, sorry. And then we work on this a little bit, and I picked out 2 washies. This one from MT, I forget what it's called. It's like Icons or something, I don't know. And then this red one, since I figure we're getting to the bottom and we need to start using up our items. And then maybe we can do some brainstorm journaling and mind mapping, which is something else I want to work on, but let's just do one thing at a time. So today was, or is still, the night is young. It is Friday the 3rd. And what did I do today? Well, I went to the office. It's also really cold here. I don't know where you all are, but it was like 30-mile-an-hour wind today. I think the temperature right now is like 29 degrees Fahrenheit, so pretty cold. I don't mind the cold. I used to live in a very cold country and I actually love it. But a lot of people around here aren't used to it, or they like panic about the cold, so yeah, it doesn't bother me. So I'm going to draw, and actually, I use the writing board a lot when I'm writing, but when I'm drawing, I don't like using it. Maybe we'll do an experiment where we'll try it, one with the writing board and one without, but I learned the hard way when I used in Hobonichi paper. I used the pencil board when I went to color in with color pencils. Let's see if I found the day that I really messed that up. I don't think I'm gonna find it. Having the pencil board behind the Hobonichi paper ripped the paper a little bit, and I don't know why I didn't think of that. I guess it's just this type of paper. So looking back now at all this, it was kind of fun. I wish I was consistent. I did this all year, which I know a lot of you do. I wish I could be consistent. That's something I'm working on. But it is kind of cool to go back and be like, oh yeah, this was last summer when I was tired and dreaming of pierogies, and when I saw a butterfly, and when I went to a coffee shop, walked in a park, I went to the office. So that's what we're gonna draw today. We also went to the office today. So anyway, and when I started using this Waterman ink in my Lamy, I just really liked it for drawing my little cat guy. So let's go ahead and just draw him. Do I need to zoom in? No, it's okay. I still haven't figured out how to make being live horizontal. I tried to look it up and I just got confused. So for now, please bear with me while we have this limited vertical setup. We're always a work in progress. So I'm gonna draw my little guy. Again, I'm not an artist, please don't judge me. This is just for fun. And I brought, what did I bring to work today? Actually, I finished my iced coffee before I even got out of the car, but I'm still gonna draw him holding a little iced coffee tumbler because it was really good iced coffee that I made. And then I'm gonna have him actually use a backpack, but we're gonna draw him a little briefcase. There we go. And I don't wear a tie, but we're gonna draw a little tie. So maybe this isn't the most accurate representation, but hey, The cat guy has his own work life. It's not the same as mine. Hi everyone, happy Friday. Welcome. We're just doing a little drawing in my weekly horizontal traveler's notebook. Let me know in the chat where you're from, how your week was going, if you're going to work on anything, you just want to chat. I'm drinking my coffee, iced espresso with some soy milk. And yeah. So I went to the office, and then I'm just going to draw. What could I draw here? I could draw. Oh, and I didn't really notice this till now that I'm looking close, but the weekly has this little divider line. So maybe I could do the drawings on one side each week and then write on the other, or maybe just put some washi tape, or I don't know. I'm not going to limit myself because then I talk myself out of things. And I'm just going to draw a building, really. Well, just a high rise, just my office. The windows are very rectangular. And again, we're just doing this for fun. I found it very therapeutic to draw my Hobonichi. Let me know if you draw anything in your journal, or you're more of like a writing or using ephemera. So I drew a little office. Maybe we'll draw him close up with a scarf on saying "Burr," because it was really cold. How can we do that? Let's draw his whiskers to be stiff. A little tongue sticking out. His eyes a little messed up. And then a little bunched scarf. A little plaid scarf. I don't know how to draw snowflakes, so we're not going to do that. What else could we use to signify? Well, maybe, okay. Well, it's because I'm using my phone to video. I can't like look up a reference, so sorry. Let's just put like a little bubble letters of Burr. And then maybe I'm just gonna write office in cursive. So here's an example. I kind of like it because it doesn't take up a lot of space, so it doesn't feel overwhelming. If you just wanted to doodle one or two things you did that day, I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's with a fountain pen with the Waterman blue ink. I kind of want to experiment. I don't want to experiment all tonight, but it'd be interesting to do 1 week of fountain pen, 1 week with pencil, 1 week with ballpoint pen, just to kind of compare the results. But we're just using a fountain pen now. Okay. And then yesterday was Thursday. What did I do yesterday? Oh boy. Well, I worked from home yesterday. What did I do yesterday? I did something big, didn't I? This is really bad that my memory is getting so. In all fairness, I usually look at my phone to see what pictures I took that day, so I can remember what I did, but I don't have my phone available right now. Okay, well, let's skip Thursday since we can't remember what we did, and let's move on to a different day. So Wednesday was the first. Wednesday I tutored. Actually, I didn't even tutor because I have any students show up. Oh, Wednesday night I went to the Korean food court. which is really good. So let's draw him eating this. Whoops, it's not flat. Some, actually, ironically, got Japanese food at the Korean food court. But I'd never gotten food there. On Sunday, me and my friend went to this Korean restaurant, and it was absolutely amazing. And you wouldn't even know from the outside. It kind of looks like a dentist's office, but when you go in, it's like a traditionally decorated Korean restaurant, and the food was amazing. But afterwards, we went to this food court in a big Korean grocery store for mochi donuts and bubble tea, obviously. And they had a bunch of like restaurant type food, like not just dessert. And I said, okay, well, next time I'm working, because it's near the college that I work at, and I literally pass it on the way home, I'll stop there and have dinner there. So that's how that story happens. And then I guess I think I used chopsticks, I didn't use a fork, but that's okay. The cat was different. I'm just gonna write Korean food court. The artisan is here. Hola, ¿cómo está? How is your week going? Let us know what you're up to. As you can see, I'm just doodling. And some of y'all are probably watching and not actually commenting or chatting, which is totally fine, but feel free to do so. There's no judgment here. We want to know that your week's going well or not going well. This is also a great place to ask for advice. So just feel free. I did, oh, you know what I did start doing? I did start using Notion on my computer. So do I want to draw? I guess I want to draw me working at the Writing Center. Let's do a bookshelf, because there's lots of bookshelves in there. And like I said, we're just haphazardly drawing here. There's no rules. Because that's a wobbly shelf there. And we'll draw a plant, because there's actually giant plants in our Writing Center. Some more books. I don't know if I can zoom in. Let me know if you want me to zoom in, or just as I draw, I can lift it up to the screen. I'm just still nervous about YouTube Live, so I want to make sure I don't mess anything up, because then it'll kick me off or whatever. Okay, and then we'll draw some books here. Oh, I guess I don't have to draw the cat. Are you creating a second brain? Second brain? I need to create my first brain first. There's like posters on the wall that I love to look at about grammar and writing. So I'm just gonna put like read really lightly, and then there is like a circular table to meet with students. And then I literally sat at the table because I had no students, and I worked on my research project. Oops. Remember, I'm not an artist. In Notion. Yes, I started using Notion. Well, I created one, I think, last week, and I really started using it this week, and I wish I started using Notion easier. If anyone needs like a tool to like just organize things or keep records of stuff, Notion is so easy to use. And you don't have to click save, and you can open on your computer or your phone or your tablet. Um, I'm actually a project manager so I oversee 2 grad students and my part-time job, and I created a team space on Notion this week, and we're just trying it out to see if that'll work for us. And yeah, it's a great way to invite people to like collaborate and just have like different pages and chat. So if you have any tips on Notion, please let me know because I'm loving it so far. And then here's my little laptop. And then I'm just gonna write college. So that's, I don't know, there's something about drawing with this Lamy fountain pen that really works. It just feels very comfortable. So, Tuesday the 31st, I got career and life-changing news in a good way, which I can't talk about yet, but I want to somehow memorialize that. So it was so exciting that when I opened the letter, I was screaming. Like I literally was screaming to the point that later that night my throat was hurting because I couldn't believe I got the offer I was hoping for. So I think I'm just gonna do a yay. Oh, hey Katie, welcome. Happy Friday. So eventually I'll let you all know because it's gonna involve me moving and completely changing my life. And I talked about it before, but I wanted to make a career change this summer and apply for these things that are competitive. And I applied last year, and then you don't find out till pretty much this time of year. And I got a really great offer that I never thought would happen. And unless I get a different offer between now and then, I'm waiting to hear from 6 more places. I will be taking that one. They've actually invited me to visit next month, so I'm flying over there to go visit and meet with who I'd be working with. So unless I don't hear back from those 6 places, I'm definitely going there, and I think I'm moving in June, and I would start August 1st. So I'm extremely excited, but also nervous because it's just a complete change of lifestyle, and by lifestyle I also mean salary, but it's what I want to do. So it really is like I don't want to say once in a lifetime opportunity, but it's something that you can only do at certain times, and the process of getting it takes a while. That like if I got it, that means I should take it because I could always come back to the job I have or like a similar job, right? So time to make a change. But I was screaming, literally screaming. And then like that kind of threw off my. I mean, it was good news, right? But it kind of threw off my week because the past few days I've just been so like excited and like confused. And I told some of my coworkers today when I saw them at the office in secret because like we haven't told my boss yet that I'd be leaving. And they're super excited and they're like looking stuff up of things to do in that city, and yeah, so it's like this weird mixed emotions. And it hasn't been able to help me focus really because that's all I'm thinking about. But yeah, so eventually I'll let y'all know. I have until April 15th to sign my contract and paperwork. So honestly, if I might not know until April. I definitely don't want to know until I go visit them next month. I'm leaving 1 month from today on March 3rd. So March 4th. So once I visit them and I feel the vibes and meet the people, I'll probably have a decision. But as of right now, things are moving. So I want to kind of memorialize that. I think I'm just going to draw him going yay. With stars as his eyes. And a big smile. And him like being like, yay. And then maybe I'll draw it in like a word bubble since I did scream. Is that what it's called? Word bubble? And then I'm gonna write great news. Okay, we have the 31st. 30th was Monday. What did I do on Monday? Does anyone else have this problem where you can't remember what you did that week? I feel like I should know better. Monday was Monday. Oh, I went on a site visit. Okay, so I had to go visit somewhere in Georgetown, which means I went to the good TJ Maxx that's over in Georgetown and bought skincare products. So, because they have a really good, like, Korean skincare lines, and they're all really priced great because it's TJ Maxx. But that's like the best TJ Maxx in this whole area. So it's literally 2 buildings over from the building I had to be at. So I got there early, so I had an awkward 35 minutes to kill so I could run into TJ Maxx and buy stuff and then hide it in my bag when I went to the meeting. So we're not going to write all that out, but I didn't even walk across the bridge. I took the bus. But there's a really nice, when you walk over the canal, there's a Blue Bottle coffee shop that has like really nice outdoor seatings. In the summer, they have these beautiful blue umbrellas. So I kind of want to draw that. There's like I want to say patio. We're going to draw the umbrellas, even though there really weren't any umbrellas. We're just doing it. How am I going to do this? I should have thought about it. Didn't think before I started drawing, that's okay. I was at the office today, and I was looking at blog posts and articles about like how to spark creativity, journal prompts to get you creative again, because I felt like I've just been kind of brain dead the past few weeks with my videos and stationery and journaling and all that stuff. So I was trying to like spark something. Don't know if the sparks happened yet, but that's definitely not looking like an umbrella. It looks like a beach umbrella, or when you get in a drink. Maybe I'll try to draw like a rounded one. Now it looks like a lampshade. Okay, whatever. And maybe I'll just draw the canal and like the walkway that goes over the canal. Not turning out great, that's okay. And there's a lot of brick buildings because the architecture in there is very bricky, and there's a lot of stones along the cafe area. So maybe I'll just draw kind of like, remember, I'm not an artist. Some like colored bricks amongst the lines. And the dirt path, and then here, oops. And then I'll draw my little backpack. And then I'm just gonna put Georgetown. Whoops. Okay. Does anyone here do like urban sketching where you go around and you either like sketch with a fountain pen or a pencil? I've always wanted to do that. I'm curious if you do it. But around here, people would think you're crazy. If you're in New York, it's normal to see stuff like that. But here, they'd be like, what are you doing? So I can't remember what we did on Thursday. It's really bad. That was just yesterday. What did I do? I mean, I worked yesterday. I did put gas in my car because I'm going on a work trip Monday. I'm not driving, but for some reason I felt like I had to put gas in my car. I don't remember why. I know I cooked. Did I go for a walk? I did go for a walk yesterday, even though it was freezing out. So I'm just gonna draw like a walk in the neighborhood. And I'm gonna draw like the houses in the background maybe. And we're just gonna draw like the sidewalk. I'm just gonna draw like the fronts of the houses. Does anyone have any exciting weekend plans? Or just plans for the weekend? And the sun was out yesterday, which is why I went for a walk during the day. Because I knew it was going to be 20 degrees today and I should take advantage of it. So let's just draw the birds. You know, this is very trivial looking, but this isn't an art class. We're just doodling in a traveler's notebook. And then I'm just gonna put go for a walk. Okay, there's my week thus far. Don't want to draw tomorrow or Saturday. Although maybe I need to keep it where I'm like drawing what I actually did. I could draw what I plan on doing. But let's not do that. We want to keep the energy going. Just want to let it dry a bit. Now, do I maybe want to try a watercolor one? Katie says. Yeah, the sticker day thing sounds awesome actually. Maybe write one word, because I feel like when I see one word, like for example, when I open a new espresso or like a new coffee package, I'll write just like new coffee or new espresso, and in my drawings, when I see that next to the drawing, it does spark a memory of that day. But yeah, long form journal. So do you like? I'm curious. Do you keep all your journal chronologically, like one notebook where you write all of your different things and maybe things you're working out in your head or what you did that day? I need to start doing that, but I don't know. It feels kind of intimidating. I feel like I've never kept a journal consistently. The only thing I've kept is a traveler's notebook kind of consistently. Okay. So, and then I did like draw the week before, and I actually wrote about what I was reading. I do a log type daily entry in A6 Fibonacci. Okay. I mean, also you don't have to remember every thing. I mean, if there's just one exciting thing you want to remember, that's good. We don't have to record everything unless you want to do that. Like what I did in my Fibonacci cousin was I just kind of just drew the main thing that day, which was like going to the farmer's market. And I cooked and I cleaned. So even if you did like one sticker and you wrote, you know, coffee time. I do remember this because it was red tape. I was very frustrated at my job, so I drew red tape and a confusion poster because I was dealing with stupid government things that drove me crazy. And like getting bubble tea and working in my traveler's notebook. Or maybe this is supposed to be my Hobonichi, I'm not sure. See, now that I'm looking at this from last summer, I miss my drawings with the colored pencils, which I did do throughout the rest of the year, but not every single day. It was a challenge where I wanted to do it every day in July. So, I'm like working from home. Packing my little suitcase. Okay, see, now I'm like nostalgic and I love this. But at the time, I felt like a lot of it was overwhelming. Like watching Job on YouTube and doing laundry. I don't know. See, like this is when I went to Georgetown last summer for my job. This is how I depicted it. Oh, you know. Can't believe it's February. So, somehow, for some reason, I have a little bit better memory of last week. Yeah, I think A6 is a good size for that. My issue when I use the A6... Wait, am I getting my sizes confused? A6 is the original Hobonichi, right? When I had the original size, I felt like it was too small for me because I have big hands, which is why when I switched to the cousin, I was able to draw better, if that makes sense. Is it Bedia? You list 10 things you did each day? Wow. And then when I have a journaling session, I can choose. Oh, so where do you list your 10 things? Do you do it like in a separate notebook, or do you keep like a little piece of paper or something? That's interesting. Yeah, see, that's what we need to do is, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I just can't remember all the things that I've done. And then Katie says, deep thoughts are kept in my private journals. A6 here is the A5. A6 original, okay, so A6 is, yeah, A6 was a little bit too small for me, and the cousin A5 was a little bit better, but that was because of my big hands issue. Moleskine Daily. Okay, I'm gonna have a video coming out about Moleskine, and I'll probably talk about it a little bit on this live. I'm already changing out my planning. Yeah, writing the 10 idea things is a really good idea because then you don't actually have to journal about all of them. You can just journal about the one that you feel like you need to journal about or you want to remember. I know some people journal every night about like details of what they did, and they fill up tons of notebooks over the years. I think that would be so cool to be able to sit down and pick up a notebook from 5 years ago and see the thoughts that you wrote and maybe how different you are today. But that really takes consistency. I don't know if I could do that. Okay, Monday the 23rd. Okay, see, now I already forgot what I did. I know on Sunday, me and my friend went to the Korean restaurant, which was amazing. So, did that. Now I'm forgetting. Horrible. Okay, maybe what we'll do is we'll draw the book that we're currently reading on, because I think I started it last week. Or do I want to draw it over here? No, I definitely started last week because me and my friend were talking about this book on Sunday, so maybe I'll just draw this book, which I'm halfway done and I highly recommend. It's The Orchard by Christina Gorcheva Newberry. So maybe we'll do a little bit of watercoloring. I just want to try it out. I'm still so horrible at watercoloring because I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, maybe this would be the time to use the pencil board. And I want to finish this book this weekend because on Monday I'm going on a week trip for work, and I have this thing where I always buy a new book on a work trip. I don't know why. I have to read a new book when I'm on a work trip. I can't read what I was reading before I leave. So I need to either pick a book of something I have or go buy a book at some point this weekend or go to the library. Actually, no. I never take library books on these kind of trips because I have this fear I'm going to lose a library book and then have to pay for it, so, which has never happened, but I always have that fear. So I will probably just buy a book. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw. Actually, should we use a ruler? No, we want to like keep it whimsical and like no pressure. So I'm just gonna draw with this Sakura. I just kind of draw the cover a little bit, and then I'm gonna journal about it a little bit just by maybe writing a couple sentences. Maybe I'm just gonna draw the cover. So the orchard. And I guess it's kind of, well, it's supposed to be a play off of the cherry orchard, but I don't know if there's cherries if the picture's cherries or if it's apples or peaches. So we're just gonna draw the leaves. Again, I'm not an artist. And does anyone have any weird rituals that you do? Like me having to buy a book when I take a new trip? Oh, and the leaves, the word and novels in this leaf, which I've already messed up, but whatever. And there's a girl in the cherry, but I don't think I'm gonna draw that because I'd really mess it up. Here's a little palette. And you should do lighter colors first. I'm just gonna do kind of like a yellowy in the background. Okay. Still getting used to the water brushes. I don't know. I feel like I have trouble controlling them. Oops, too much water. Also, if any of you want to see something specific during these lives, please let me know. I just wanted to go live tonight, even though all week I had no idea what I was going to do, and then I just kind of decided beforehand. Because I just like the interaction, and I like just doing it live. It's just fun. Tootsie Roll stickers? Oh, suckers. I'm sorry. I like stickers. When I travel because my mom always buys on trips. I don't really. You know what? I literally have, Katie, I'm not even joking. I have Tootsie Roll Pops on my kitchen table right now because when my friend was visiting over Martin Luther King Day, like I had bought them and we were just like reminiscing how actually good they were. And you're right, they don't really taste good. It's just more of like the reminiscing. I'm a red Tootsie Roll Pop person. But the problem with red is like then your whole mouth turns red, so you have to be careful when you eat one. And I don't know, when I was little, there was like this urban legend or whatever. If you got a wrapper that had a star on it, you could like mail it in to the company and they would send you something. I don't know if that's true or like one of my cousins told it to me or something. But when you're like 10 years old, you believe that stuff. Also, there was no internet back then, right? So you couldn't Google it. Hi, Isabel. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Please feel free to join the chat. Don't be shy. Or, work on something along with me, or just ask me questions, or just enjoy. There's no rules. There is no judgment. There's no expectations. We're just having fun. Let us know where you are. It's Friday night here. It is 8:40 p.m. So is it the dark blue ones, Katie? That's the blueberry? Yeah, the star thing. I mean, I can ask my siblings, but I'm pretty sure it was like a big deal when we were little because you would look for the wrappers, and they probably all have stars. No, I don't know. It's one of those urban legend type things. Um, so now, I guess I should paint latest first. I'm gonna make it for the peaches, although I guess they're cherry. Um, so this is a really good book. I mentioned it last time. If you have any familiarity with Eastern Europe or Russia or Soviet Union, it's very nostalgic. A lot of things. It's about four young, well, really two best friends, and the guys that they start dating in the 80s. And then I guess later the novel is like when they're older after the fall of the Soviet Union and they're teenagers in it and going through the normal teenage stuff. But the language in it is very poetic. Like the writer was just, well, her word choice is amazing. And it's interesting because English was her second language. So even if you're not into Soviet stuff or that part of the world, um, she writes and depicts things beautifully. And we already went outside the lines. That's okay. Um, and I think she explains things well if you're not familiar with it, but a lot of like the food she talks about and the customs and rituals make sense if you've lived in Eastern Europe. I don't know if I'm making sense. You're on the East Coast, yes, East Coast, best coast. We're here in Washington, D.C., where it's very, very cold. So normally on a Friday night, I would like go for a walk or go to the bookstore or something, or even on Saturday. But because how crazy cold it is with the wind chill and everything, I just am gonna hunker down this weekend and just do stuff at home. Um, I don't want to mess with that crazy cold. Also, I'm leaving for Albany, New York on Monday, and I'll be there for 5 days for work. So I was like, I should just enjoy being at home because what'll happen is when I get to Albany and I'm there in the hotel, I'll be like, oh, I wish I had my art supplies, or I wish I had my journal, or, like it's always when you don't have access to things that you suddenly feel the urge to do it. So I haven't decided if I'm going to bring anything on my trip. Um, this time in July, when I actually started my Hobonichi last year, this is the July start, um, I was in Albany. That's what inspired me. And I did this in my hotel room. There's a video of it. Um, so it's like, should I bring at least maybe this to kind of continue the vibe if I feel inspired? But I don't know. I'm going to put a little red into these quote unquote cherries. Does anyone watercolor in your journal in any aspect? Whether it's like just decor or you actually depict your day or something? I think what I'm going to do is come back with this red when this is dry. And then I'll go in and make a little green. So I'm just using this IKEA kitchen towel and dabbing, squeezing and dabbing. Again, I don't know what I'm doing, but this is what I'm doing. Okay. And green is blue and yellow, right? So bad at this. Okay, we're gonna take a little blue. And then we're gonna take some more of our yellow. Hi, Southpaw. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. West Coast, how do you like watercolor pencils? So, I have some Stadler watercolor pencils, and I talked about it in a video once, and I did a compare and contrast. So, I drew with the color pencils without adding water, and then I drew something next to it and drew and put water on top of it. I actually liked it more than I thought I would. My only concern is I feel like I can't control it as well, but maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I feel like when you're using a paintbrush and you're applying the paint to paper, that's how it's going to look. But when you draw with a colored pencil and then put water on it, you're not exactly sure how that's going to show up, if that makes sense. But I should probably experiment more because it probably is better for someone like me. Okay, that's kind of green. We'll take it. I'm also curious to see how fast this dries on the Traveler's Notebook paper. Which is why I was a little nervous to do it on the live. But this is fun. Oof, we're really getting messy. It's cool, it's cool. Actually kind of ends up blending well. It actually kind of looks like, well, not really, but wow, this looks terrible. All right. I'm satisfied that we at least tried. And I'm gonna just write something about it. And I'm gonna write with my Sailor fountain pen. And I do have the pencil board, and it's actually working very nicely. I don't know what happens at the end because I'm not finished yet, but I'm still giving it 5 stars. Sunny Tracy Witt's here. Hello, welcome. I hope you had a good week. Let us know if you did anything exciting or you want to do something exciting. I want to do some stuff around the house tomorrow, pack up for my work trip. I actually want to cook something in particular, and I bought the ingredients for it, so I'm looking forward to that. So we just did a little watercolor sketch of the book I'm halfway through and writing about it quickly, and I just kind of want to see a test of how long it takes for this watercolor to dry on the Traveler's Notebook paper. So let's go ahead and let's keep using the Sailor to sketch and see how that turns out and compare it to the Lamy All-Star. Now I just have to remember what I did. Oh, we already talked about it. We went to the Korean place on Sunday, which was absolutely, I would go back there in a heartbeat. A lot of places around here, I don't know, they're not places you like have an urge to go back to, but this place definitely was good. So me and my friend went and we ordered a bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna draw us at the table. Yes, this is still the black cartridge. So I don't have any bottled black ink. Some of the ones from Eugenie, I think in my last video when I did the swatching, I can't tell you in front of me, but it was one that was from the music set that was like it was diamine ink music set, and it was like it almost was like a matte black. Like when I know when I wrote with it, it felt like it was matte. Actually, do I have the tester notebook in front of me? I don't remember which notebook did I use for that. Okay, there's a Wagner, Chopin. Okay, that's. Oh, did I use a Lamy? Does anyone remember what notebook I used for this? I have so many in front of me. I really need to. That's another thing I want to work on is cleaning and organizing my desk because it's just chaotic. Okay, it must be this notebook. No, it's not that notebook. I have too many of these. Mozart. No, this is the one I used. So there's Sailor. This one actually looks really nice. Okay. Is it the? No, it's not the Chopin. It's driving me crazy. I thought there was one I know I said that like felt like it looked matte. Maybe it was the Chopin, but now it doesn't look as nice. I don't know. So I don't have one with a bottled black ink. I will say I've used the Pilot black ink, like the regular one, years ago when I lived abroad. I didn't bring the ink home with me that I liked, but whoops. This is the dark blue Waterman ink I got off Amazon, which was a deal, so it was like affordable. And I think the black looks really good. So if you're looking for one that's probably like you might be able to snag a deal on Amazon, check out the Waterman ones. Yeah, I like writing in black. I wish I could like more bright colors, but something about me, like I need to see better, so I like writing in dark colors. Oh, you spent the day with your niece and sister, have a journaling. You all planned and journaled together? That's awesome. Good for you. That's like a fun way to kind of encourage each other and also exchange ideas and keep yourself accountable. Whenever I see videos of people doing like journal sessions at cafes and stuff, I feel so jealous. I would love to do that. Yeah, I mean, black is, when I'm doing, like when I'm writing a lot, I just need to see it in dark color. I'm just like more normal, I guess. Like I could never write like journal entries in red because in my mind red is like grading papers or something like that. So I like sticking with things like black, dark blues. I do like brown, so maybe check out if there's any brown black out there. I think, does Pilot still make a brown? What's the one that makes a brown black? I can't remember. And I like dark green or olive color green. Oh, you're using Diamine Jet in your Sailor. Is Jet black? I don't think I've seen the Jet. Yeah, this Sailor still has the cartridge, which I'm surprised has lasted this long and it hasn't dried up. Because usually the inks dry up before I'm able to use it all. This is the one that it came with, so. I did purchase a converter, and I haven't. I wanted to try this Sailor first before I spent the money on a converter because this is my first Sailor. I didn't know if I was gonna like it, and I love it. I've been using it a lot. So I went ahead on Amazon and purchased a converter. Haven't opened it yet, obviously. And I didn't know, but their converters have different color tops. So I chose this one because it's like white and clear. I think it's called Natural or something. It's made in Japan. Okay, it doesn't say the color that it is. I don't know, I just liked it because it's also an easy way to tell different from the like Pilot converters, which have a black knob at the top. That's surprisingly why I love the Lamy converter that has like a red knob at the top. I don't know, it's just easier to identify because sometimes when I'm going through I just get confused and yeah. Yeah, it's so cool to have family with the same interests to do that kind of stuff. My sister's kind of into planning now, so we share different ideas and look at stuff. Ivy, I guess Ivy is like a green. Yes, what's with all these converters that look exactly the same? And then I have some converters that are just international cartridge ones, so they're just from, non-name brand pens, and they all have the black top too, and they look just like the Pilot ones. And I have a pen here somewhere that I literally cannot find a converter that it fits into it. But I thought it came with a converter, and I was going crazy trying to find it. So we're trying the Sailor. We'll try the Sailor one out. Jet waterproof. Yeah, I wonder if the Jet's waterproof or resistant. Um, I was hoping you try your converter first and be able to tell if which one fits. Yeah, I mean, so this one's definitely Sailor. Um, all my other converters, do I have? Oh, like this one with a spring in it. I thought this was. See, they also don't put the company name. I feel like you should all put the company name on these converters. This looks like the standard cartridge, doesn't it? And I tried to put it in one that takes a standard cartridge, and it didn't fit or something. And I was just getting so frustrated that I gave up. Black Ivy. It's sort of dark burgundy and fades to green. Okay, that's really interesting. I figured it would be some kind of green if it's called Ivy. Yeah, I didn't really experiment much with inks until Eugenie and I did the ink exchange. I also think I had an issue where I was trying to find fountain pens I really liked, and the Sailor definitely checks my boxes. I wish I bought the Sailor sooner, but that's neither here nor there. And then my Tatcha that I got at the Baltimore Pen Show, that kind of changed the game for me in fountain pens because I found one that felt modern and it's also very heavy and it's not too like, it just doesn't feel like too much, but it works well for me. This one I really like, and this has the ink that I got with it in there. It is the Tatcha Uguisu Green, which I can swatch real quick if anyone's interested in. This is a pen show special where the ink came with the pen. Oops. And I really like it. Like I could write in a journal. I could write like long form journaling with this because it's like a dark green. And it feels nice on the eyes. So I couldn't write like in a yellow or an orange. That would hurt my eyes. Do I have any black? No. Anyway. I feel like once you go down the rabbit hole of finding an ink that you like or finding a fountain pen that you like, the rabbit hole just gets deeper. And I keep all my inks in this Hobonichi drawer pouch. Or is that what it's called? Drawer pouch box? I don't know. I got all the names of stuff confused. Water resistant but not waterproof. Okay. So let's see if we like drawing with the Sailor fountain pen as much as I do with the Lamy. Okay, so that day we went to a delicious Korean restaurant. Where you get like all the little, I forget the word for it, the little side dishes. We had the barley tea that they give you. And we got the, what is it, the pachon, the pancake with vegetables in it, which I've made at home. That's really good. And then I got the beef bulgogi, and my friend got the vegetarian bibimbap. So far, this draw's okay, but I think I still prefer. I'm gonna draw this one with curly hair because it's my friend. I think I still prefer drawing with the Lamy. kind of want to draw the chair I was sitting in. The decor was like all like traditional wooden along the walls. I mean, the place is old. It's probably from like the 80s. But it definitely helped with like the atmosphere. It was pretty awesome. Um, and I'm just gonna write Korean food. Yosaka did a video about the different kinds of ink that I learned a lot from. Oh, I need to watch that because I don't know a lot of the words about what's what. Like, I still get confused. For example, I was looking at this Micron and it says archival ink, and I wanted to use it to outline what we just watercolored with, but it does say micro pigment ink, okay, that's the French part, and fade proof fine lines for waterproof. So I was like, okay, this will work, but I wanted to use, that's archival, right? And one of y'all last time was talking about the difference between, or no, in one of my videos when I talked about stamping, like the ink pads, one is oil based and one's water based, and when I was standing at the store trying to figure out which ink pads to buy, I got really confused. So here's the Zig writer. Oops, sorry. Acid free, archival quality, pigment ink, keep horizontal. So I wanted to use this, but I was like, well, does that mean it's waterproof if it's pigment and archival? I feel like archival means it's permanent, but I don't know, I could be wrong, so I don't want to risk it. So normally I would have tried to use this Zig, but we just went with the Sakura instead. Banchan, okay, yes, Banchan. Oh, their Banchan, the zucchini, they had the zucchini kimchi. It was like out of this world delicious. Definitely gonna go back to the Korean place. So, whoops. So there's my little drawing at the Korean place. I don't remember what I did Saturday. Well, we did live, right? Last Friday night, so I guess I could draw the live. I also clean, because that's my other thing. On Friday nights, I like to do all my cleaning, so it's like I have a whole weekend in a clean house. Ironically, today I did not do a lot of cleaning. I just did quick stuff because I'm going to be gone for a whole week. So I was like, I'd rather just do a deep clean when I get home next weekend. So yeah, I need to figure out. Let me know if you pack a like everyday carry, or you have an everyday carry setup versus maybe like a journaling setup that when you take to a friend's house or a cafe has like more things in it. Because I still have this problem where I don't have a everyday carry setup where I can grab and go. I kind of have to pick a few things out, and then I get like just anxious about it. I'd love to have a pencil case set up and my journal stacked together. That way, if I didn't want to go out, I have enough things in there to actually do something. Otherwise, I just grab, right now I've been grabbing my Miniature Bags leather pencil case because I just like the size of it. It fits a good amount of things in there. It doesn't get too heavy, but I don't know. I need to work on that also. There's a lot of things I need to work on. Oh, Sunny, my mom is a quilter. She's really into it. She goes to conventions and she's won awards, and she's made all us quilts up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Using micron pens. Okay, it doesn't bleed or fade in washing the fabric. So I guess it, yeah, definitely waterproof. Well, I mean, it worked out well here. I wonder if my mom knows. Maybe I'll give her some of these microns. I think actually when I took her to a quilting, when I drove her around once and we went somewhere in Lancaster, they sold these like at the register, like one of the Amish quilt shops. I was like, Mom, that's actual stationery that I use. That's Japanese. That's Sakura. Like, I know what this is. That was funny. That's also how I found out that Joanne Fabrics carries a lot of stationery items now, especially my favorite Tombow adhesive tape runner, and they have, I think they have Stadler pens, and they have zebra mild liners and all that. Because I guess when the like art journaling and journaling stuff kicked off during the pandemic, they started to carry more of that stuff. So good to know if you have any Joann's coupons in the mail. So maybe I'll just draw myself cleaning. My mom actually sews her signature into, like, the quilt I have. It has her name and the date and all that stuff that she sews in, but she has like one of those fancy machines that like hooks up to your computer too. It's pretty hardcore. Yeah, she literally could spend all day and night quilting if she didn't have to go to work and stuff. Um, and her best friend who lives somewhere else in the country in the South, they like get together and they have like they take a week trip. They actually rent out a conference room in a hotel when they go to this like quilting convention in Lancaster, and they bring their sewing machines and everything, and they set up in the conference room of the hotel, and they like they quilt together and they do exchanges and all that kind of stuff. Like that's really hardcore. And I never kind of understood it when I was younger. I just thought, oh, okay, like it's a quilt, But looking at it now, it's a form of art. Absolutely. It's the design of it, it's the color, it's like, this is her traveler's notebook, but just happens to be like on a quilt. It's the same experience for her. So definitely appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, some of those, when we're in like these quilt shops in Lancaster and we're looking at these things, I don't even know how people make things that turn out that beautiful. I mean, it's really, I think there's like a lot of math involved, and I would not be good at that. I don't really know how to sew. I mean, I can sew on a button and things like that, but she's a full-on seamstress and quilter, and she can make clothes from scratch and all that kind of stuff. It's a little harder to, whoops. I think it's a little harder to draw with this sailor. I think it's because maybe the nib, what is this? Is this a fine? I think this is a medium, but because it's a Japanese medium, it's a lot different than my Lamy medium. I'm a fan of European size nibs, just because I write bigger, I guess, than writing in like Japanese or something. So I like thicker lines. So I'm just gonna draw my cat pushing a vacuum cleaner. It's a horrible vacuum cleaner. And what else did I do Friday? We went live. Okay, so I'm gonna put clean. And then later in the evening, we went live. Let's draw my iPhone here. A little tripod, a little desk setup, my little tablet setup so I can see the chat. And then a little traveler's notebook, we'll do a little palette. We're just really sketching things like quickly, we're not overly doing it. It's supposed to be about the fun. And did we have coffee last week? I feel like I had some kind of coffee. And let's draw a flower. I have a little vase. Okay. And then I'm just gonna put live. Man, I wonder what I did on Saturday. I think on Saturday I did a lot of work for my university job, because that was like the trade-off. My friend wanted to go to the Korean place and all that stuff on Sunday. I was like, okay, well, let's go Sunday, because then that way Saturday I'm gonna log my hours. So, but I'm not positive. Wednesday the 25th, I worked at the college, so we could draw that. So we're gonna take, is it Bedia's advice, and we're gonna start writing down things that we do. So when we sit down to journal about them, we can remember. I mean, what I actually did, and I'll show you just for fun. When I was getting behind in my Hobonichi to do my drawing, and I wasn't in the mood to draw, but I didn't want to forget what I did that day, I actually took my mild liner and I wrote, like, I was listening to 1960s French pop music, which is one of my favorite things to listen to. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to write this in my Hobonichi real quick. That way this weekend when I sit down to draw, I knew what that big day, you know, on September 30th, it was like a big day for me to listen to that. But I didn't go back and do it. So, like, here's when I was co-teaching my linguistics class, and then I had to do a presentation in our creative writing seminar. So, Thai food, haircuts, but then I didn't do anything these 2 days, so yeah, I just gotta work on that. That's all right. I feel like I need to redo my 2023 intentions and things that I want to do, because did anyone else think that January was also a really long month, but it also went by fast? I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I felt like it was January forever, and I wanted it to not be January anymore, but then now that it's February, it's like, well, what did I even do in January? I don't know, it's a very weird thing. I think it has something to do with, like, the holiday season. Okay, put this book back since we don't need it. So one thing I do need to do is mail my nieces their Valentine's Day cards. I always get them cards. I'm not going to show them because they might be watching this, but I did get these really cool Valentine's Day stickers from, was it Dollar Tree? Yes, from Dollar Tree. I just like, it's like, again, it's like my cat, right? It's like comics of the cats, but I bought these, let's open them up together, because they look like they're like a, sorry for the noise. They almost look like they're like a fabric. Like, see how they look like, I don't think it's gonna come up on camera. It almost, yeah, it feels like fabric, like a really thin fabric. So I just thought it looks cool. Little Valentine's Day, and then the rest is red foil. So I will write them out their cards and put the stickers in here and mail them to them. Yeah. That's another thing I want to do. I want to do like a postcard exchange or something on this channel. Or, like, it doesn't have to be a postcard, but maybe mail out, like if you do some artwork on a card or something, we exchange and mail things out. That was also one of my wishes for YouTube. But one of my big wishes was to be able to do lives, and here we are doing it, so that's pretty awesome. Okay, let's see if this, so now it's still a little wet. Been what, like 20 minutes? A little bit more. Not bad. And let's see how it looks through the paper. Not too bad. Better than Hobonichi, I'd say, but still not the best. I think on the 25th, when I was at the Radiant Center, I got to talk to some of my colleagues who I actually don't get to see because I work the evening shift and they all work the day shift. So they leave by 5 o'clock and I start at 5 o'clock. I'm the only person that works there in the evening, and then I close the center. So I got there early that day. It was like 4:40, so I got to talk to them for a few minutes, which was nice. I'm just gonna draw bookshelves again. feel like the Sailor Black ink is really nice. And Katie, you have to let us know which black ink you go with and if you like it. And then I'm gonna draw a little poster. I'm actually gonna draw this massive plant. There's this plant that's so big that it like is growing over. It's like bigger than me, and I'm 6'4". And the branches are so thick, it's like growing over my cubicle wall. It looks like that plant in Little Shop of Horrors. And it's like at the doorway, so when you walk in, it's like this giant beast of a thing. I have no idea how long it's been there, probably since the college opened. But it's like these huge, like, leaves. It's real, but it definitely looks fake because of how big it is. I was like, is this a set from the drama department or something? So. I'm just gonna draw me holding a piece of paper. 2 cartridges. A bottle is a commitment, especially because how expensive they are. But if you're not like, your heart's not set on one, I would just like go on Amazon and add something to your cart and like set an alert to see if the price goes down, and then that could just be what makes your decision for you. That's how I decided on this Waterman Serenity Blue, because it was it Prime Day recently? What was the last thing? Or was it Cyber Monday? One of those things where it's like there's 2 days that Amazon has, and this was the first thing that popped up, and it was like $7, and I was like, okay, but I didn't like purposely search Waterman Blue Serenity ink. It was just like recommended for you, and I wanted a bottle of ink, and I wanted one that I could use generally, so I wanted like a black or blue, and for some reason this one was a lot cheaper than the black one, so that's what made the decision for us. I was like, add to cart. And then I was laughing at my coworker because he got like locked out of the building or something. His badge stopped working, and he had like 4 minutes to run across campus before the badging office closed. I forget what the story was, but he's one of those people that like bad luck just follows him, and he's really nice, but he's always got like a black cloud over him no matter what happens. So we're all like laughing about that. I'm just gonna put writing center. Okay. This has been fun to compare which I like better. I think we're gonna stick with Lamy All-Star for drawing, just because it gives a little bit thicker of a line and it feels more sketch-like. Pilot Irajuku or Sailor Ink, so Twisby Forest Green. Yeah, Forest Green sounds amazing. Since we're on topic, I do have a Pilot Iroshizuku. This is the Syoto. I have it in a bag because I'm just paranoid that it's gonna break, and I sent some to Eugenie. This I bought probably, I don't know, from Tokyo Pen Shop or Goulet, like back. This is probably the first ink that I bought. No, I lied. It can't be the first ink I bought. The first one I probably bought when I was in Tokyo at Kakimori, but I was in like my turquoise phase. I still like turquoise and teal. It's just a color that I like. But this is definitely one of the ones I went for. So I don't know if they still make this, the Yoro one. But sometimes, again, you can find really good deals on this line, like on Amazon, especially if it's the 3-pack. Oh look, there's a, I know, is this from the bottle or is this a Traveler's Notebook? No, yeah, it's from the bottle. Where you can get like the 3-pack, and it's not for all colors. It's like whatever one they decide is on discounts. So if your heart's not set on a certain black or certain whatever, maybe that'll just like make the decision for you. Do I remember what I did Tuesday? Probably not. Do I remember what I did Monday the 23rd? Probably not. So I guess we'll call it. Now I have to decide, do I want a pack of Travelers? I think what I'm going to do, this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to bring my creative planner / Traveler's Notebook on my trip. But what I'll do is, because I'm not actually going to be, no, I don't think I'm going to do this. When I'm on my trip, I'm not actually going to be able to do anything touristy. So I'll have off in the evenings, but because I'll be at work all day doing these different things and I have a team of engineers I'm working with, I'm going to come back to my hotel and like not want to go do anything else except like go have dinner or go to the mall, because of course I booked a hotel that's across from the mall, or like go to Barnes and Noble or something. But I feel like I need to have some type of journal with me, or a little sketchbook or something. So I don't know if I'm gonna bring one of my little Kokyo sketchbooks and maybe like my Lamy. That way if I wanted to write, if I wanted to draw, I feel like I have like a choice. Or do I want to bring a Traveler's Notebook? We almost finished, in the passport size, we almost finished last week. Or did we finish? Almost, we have a couple pages left. So it's like, do I want to put in a new insert? And take my passport size with me, but I'm not really going to be collecting things, right? It's going to be more of just I don't know. I feel like I always have to have a notebook and pen. Probably a lot of you are like that too, if you're watching this right now. It just you like being able to write things down, or if something comes to your mind. So that's what I was like thinking, this might be a good idea, because then I could do sketches, I could write about stuff, but then I could also write about some of my YouTube plans. I feel like inspiration comes at the worst times. Like when I was sitting in a meeting the other day, all I could think about was like things I want to do on YouTube. I was like, oh, I wish I had my creative planner with me and I could sit down and actually like write these things instead of have it sit in this boring meeting. But that's just how it goes. So, note to self, this watercolor does take a long time to dry. And we don't remember what we did the other days that week, so we can't do anything on that page. Quite lovely. And I need to think about my long, so this is my, let's change topics here. I was gonna try to do some mind mapping of all the different things that I feel like I need to sort out with my desk, with my journaling, with my ideas. So I thought about using this notebook because it opens at the top and I just love that. And it's also blank on the back and grid on the front to maybe do a little mind mapping, however you want to call it. And that's another thing. I kind of wanted to start a guided journal series, or a journal with me, but maybe have a prompt or something and make like a playlist of different videos with like different topics, or maybe focus on creative things, because a lot of journaling is about like self-improvement, right? Or it's faith-based, or it's goals-based, or however you want it to be. But I kind of wanted to do something that was more of like, if you have all these ideas and desires and you don't know where to start, or you aren't excited enough to actually start doing them, if there's a way to help you think about actually doing them. I don't know if I explained that good enough, but let's go ahead and open up, where is it? So I had bought this Stadler mechanical pencil, which one of my goals should be Stadler sponsors me or buys me something, because I feel like I always talk them up. Let's open this up and, ooh, it's like really nice. I think you can see if it's like brushed steel on the bottom. It's a nice mechanical pencil, and I got it in 0.7 because I like 0.7. Here's the eraser. I thought I could do it with a little pencil. Maybe that would feel a little less overwhelming. That would be cool. I'm always like, yeah, journal prompts are interesting. Sonny, I was looking today online, and a lot of the blog posts with journal prompts and stuff are kind of all over the place. They were like, not what I was looking for. A lot of them are like, you know, if you could say one thing to your 10-year-old self, what would it be? Or if you could write a letter to, you know, a loved one that's passed away, what would you write? Like, write the letter, or write a creative story about, you know, you and your friend and 10 years from now. It wasn't focused on like the creative aspect of it, or kind of like organizing your creativity or something. So maybe that'll be something I could look into. So I'm just going to take this notebook. Let's just do a little mind mapping, which is really just brainstorming, but like in a visual representation. So I'm going to write at the center, stationary shenanigans, which is the name of my channel. And then we're just going to put a bubble. And then like you kind of offshoot the different things you're thinking about, and then offshoot from there the subtopics that you need to do to get there. And it's supposed to help like visualize your ideas. So since we just mentioned it, let's make an offshoot for journal. Guided journal prompts. Whoops, I spelled prompts wrong. Whew, and I'm gonna have a master's degree in English. That's really not cool. Okay. So like guided journal prompts, something I want to do. Now we could offshoot from that and talk about what we need to do to do the guided journal prompts. But because I have all these things in my head, I want to write down the other stuff that I'm also thinking about, right? That's kind of like the point of doing an exercise like this. So since we're doing live, let's do lives. Let's make an offshoot of lives. What else do I want to do? Is more like community. And then we'll do an offshoot from that with like postcard exchange. And then also actually live is part of the community too. So that's another thing. Maybe I should zoom. Can I zoom in on live? We're testing it. Okay, we can. Cool. We're good. Okay. What else is it what I want to do? I actually have some of these things listed in my journal. I just don't want to turn the page and get the... Yeah, let's quickly look before the watercolor spills. I did live stream, put together a permanent pencil case. Oh, so I want to do one that's like desk and setup. Oh, I just wrote step up instead of setup. Where is my brain? Well, this mechanical pencil is really nice, so at least we're learning that. So one of the things I need to do for that is I need to work on an everyday carry situation. I also need to organize my desk, really. But then I need to get a little bit more specific and like, I visualize like creating a shelf of everyday carry. If that makes sense, like I want each of my journals lined up. I want my pencil case lined up. I want it so like I could just grab them and either start working here on my empty space or take them somewhere else. So we kind of have to talk about keeping clean / empty workspace. And what was the other thing I said? Well, kind of everyday carry, and then, well, the everyday carry is kind of like travel stuff. Let's just write that. Again, there's no like rules about this thing. It's just to help you like kind of, instead of you just having these things in your head, writing them down shows you that you can kind of think better and give yourself a little bit more clarity. All right, I'm just referencing my traveler's notebook, planner, some of my goals for the channel. I want to do more. Oh, that's a good one. More tech stuff. So I want to. I would love to create a logo, which I kind of did, but it's not what I want. I actually want to create a logo with my cat guy, and he would be like the Stationary Shenanigans mascot. So we're putting that in a box. I would like to have like intro, outro. Outro, is that the word? Outro. I don't think it's a real word. And a jingle or like music. I need to work on like the music situation a little bit better. And then I just want to put kind of editing skills, because editing is something that's not easy. It took me forever to learn just the basics, and I see some of your all videos and I'm very impressed by how you do those things. So that's like a thing you have to kind of sit down and study. So I need to figure out some editing stuff. So there's some tech skill things I want to work on. I wrote here, do what feels exciting. I also would love to have a stationary meetup or regular community group. That's part of like the community. So since it is one of our dreams, regardless of what it's going to take to get there, I'm going to put that on my mind map. Meetup. Or even like a group, a virtual group, because we could do that too, like a Zoom or something. Okay, I think that's pretty much what I have on my list, because we're doing the live. Create more regular video schedule. Oh, I need to do that. But we're gonna put that off. Guided journal prompts. That's also like regular schedule. I wanted to make a video about how I'm changing up part of my planner, but with what happened this week with my good news, I was just like not in the headspace. I just couldn't focus on anything, so I didn't sit down and record that. So, and one thing, I watched a really awesome video, and now I feel bad that I can't remember which channel it was from. It's not Paper, Pens, and Coffee. I'm sorry, I can't remember. She talked about the psychology of when you buy something new, like let's say you buy a new ink or you buy a new notebook, it only gives you like a moment of happiness, and then you return to this cycle of like dissatisfaction. And there's like real terms for it, I'm just summarizing here. And it really struck a chord with me. So she's trying to use all of her fountain pen inks that she already has and her fountain pens and get to know the things that she already has. If anyone watched that video, let me know. Yes, honey, I got good news about my career change that I was hoping to make this summer. So it looks like it's definitely gonna happen. I can't say what it is yet until I know for sure, because I'm waiting to hear from other places. But it's very exciting, and it's gonna involve me moving to a different state. It's gonna involve me changing like leaving my current career and starting somewhere else in a totally different field. It is related to my part-time jobs that I have, so it's not like I'm truly starting from scratch. It's just making my part-time full-time, if that makes sense. And I think I'm ready for just a life change in general. So I'm both nervous and excited, but when I got the letter, I was screaming with excitement. So definitely good news. And I'll let you all know when I can. Thank you. Yes, it is always good to start a new journey. You're right, because let's take this YouTube channel as an example. I always, for years, I thought about how I would love to have stationary videos, because I watch everyone else's channels, and I was like, well, I don't know how to film stuff. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do it. No one would want to watch this stuff. I'll just be a, a watcher and a commenter. I never thought I'd be like doing a live on a Friday night doing journaling in my traveler's notebook. So that was a journey that I had to start. So I'm excited to start another different journey. Um, and I'm actually going to visit the place on March 4th. They're paying for me to visit there and meet with a bunch of who would be my colleagues, um, and all that stuff. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah. Lives. What else are we talking about? So we have like the kind of like the tech acts. So we can see once you start to do a mind map a little bit, you can see the different areas that they kind of naturally break into. So here we have a whole like technical area. So now I know there's certain things I need to do to address the technical issues. I don't want to say issues, but technical approaches. Then I have like one about the regularity of my videos and the guided prompts and journaling in general. Then I have one about my own daily setup and how I know I want to have an everyday carry. I know how I want to travel stuff. And so in order to, like, what do I need to do that? First, I need to organize my desk, then create the shelf of where the everyday carry would be. And I also have to keep it clean because it's one thing to set things up, but it's another thing to actually do it. And then we have off here of the lives, which I feel like are going well, but, um, you know, kind of, I'm just going to put temperature check because to me that means like see what you all like or don't like or what you want to see. And then maybe, did I already put regularly scheduled? I did, but that was for guided journal prompts. So let's also put for live, like, um, I don't want to say planning because I feel like we use that word too much. Like topics, and then regularity. Or maybe we don't have regularity. Or maybe we don't have topics. We just do what we feel like that day. And then the last thing I had on here that I just jotted down was do what feels exciting. So I'm gonna make a offshoot for, I don't know, I just want to, what feels right. You all know that feeling where just like something works or there's something, whether it be watercolor or ink or whatever, that like no matter what, it feels right when you're using that tool or you're talking about that item with someone or you're watching videos about it. You're like for me, like I could watch videos about like notebooks all day or traveler's notebook. Like I don't get sick of it. So I kind of want to get back to basics, and I don't know if that's a nice phrase to use, but let's just write that down there in quotes, get back to basics. And that also brings the question of why, I don't want, how do I say it? Why did I get to where I am, or what brought you here? Let's say what brought you here. That would be a good question. What brought you here? So this is more of like so now we see this offshoot, we're already seeing that this is reflective. So I'm just gonna write reflective. That's tech, that's guided, so that's like, I hate to use the word content. We're just gonna use it for now. I don't have a thesaurus in front of me. Content, that setup, that is truly logistics. Community is, well, that's community. We can keep the word lives is, I hate the word content, but that's what we're doing. Okay, so just doing this mind map for a few minutes has helped me think about the things that I've had in my head for the past few weeks that I didn't really know how to approach, and just getting them on paper might help me do something about it, frankly. And it's nice to also have the visual. So in my creative writing seminar, we learned a lot about like the physicality of writing and how that can take things that were in your brain and like by seeing them visually, it helps your brain process it differently, and maybe you'll actually have some action on it versus you just thinking about it over and over again. So I'd love to know how other people organize and whittle down the essentials they need for a cafe session. Yes, that is a great, I mean, there are some videos where people show their everyday carry, but I'll watch their videos of everyday carry and I just know like I'm inspired by it, but that's not what would work for me. So it's really hard to kind of figure out what works for you. And maybe you don't have to whittle down to the essentials. Maybe you can have like a rotating like setup. Like let's say you had a bigger container on your desk with like everything you love to use, and then you had a pencil case that you would want to travel with like next to your thing, and then that day you just like open it up and just grab the first things that like inspire you. I don't know, maybe that works, but I know that doesn't work for me because I go to grab the things because I want to leave before, you know, to get a table at the coffee shop before it gets crowded or they close or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, do I want to take this Coletto? Do I want to take which fountain pen should I take? Do I want to take the mod liner? No, I don't want. So it's like, I need to like have something that just sits on the desk that's fully ready and has washi tape and ink and whatever in there. But I have to kind of figure out how I'm going to get to that. And that's a problem. Yeah, one of my favorite videos to watch, I don't know if you all like it, is like the What's in My Pencil Case or What's in My Delphonics Pouch, those kind of things. I just love those because, I don't know, I wish I could be that person and actually have my stuff together better. We'll get there. Does anyone have any questions or want to share what they've worked on recently or want to work on maybe this weekend? This is what I wanted to work on this weekend. I wanted to get my cat comics going a little bit. I wanted to do my mind map. I was thinking about that today at work. So I actually feel satisfied with the things I've done. But what I really want to do is kind of start the organizing process or clean my desk a little bit or swap things out and maybe just, I don't know, think about it a little bit. Since I won't be here next week, I'll be gone. It might be a good chance to move things around and then when I come back, see that new setup and if that helps me feel better. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like sometimes when you leave home and you change something before you leave and you come back, like, does that feel good or does that feel bad? That I do not know. I do want to do long form journaling, as Katie said. That's a good word to use because I don't know how to can't even say that word. Differentiate between when you say journaling, like some people think of traveler's notebook journaling because that's what I equate it with because that's what I've done for so long, and then journaling like your deepest thoughts journaling that could be pages and pages long because you're working something throughout in your head or you're working out a problem you have with a loved one or whatever. So I guess we can call that like long form journaling. That's another goal I want to work on. So I guess we should add that to our mind map here. I'm just gonna write long form journaling. And I just need to sit down and do it. I think I have the notebook picked of what I want to use. I know I want to use my fountain pen. I just feel like I need to you have to be in the mood, right? So Isabel, you want to clean your desk and journal. Sounds great. You abandon your poor journal all January because the cold makes me not want to sit at my desk. I'd rather be under blankets reading. Hey, that also sounds great. I think you could, if you want to be under the blankets reading, do you have one of those like lap desks that you can use that maybe if you're laying in bed with the blankets and you don't want to sit at your desk, but you could have a flat surface that like maybe you would take your journal out a little bit and then spend a few minutes journaling and then maybe throw it to the side and pick your book up and read. But I completely understand. I'm one of those people where like you gotta be in the right mood. When I read, I mean, I can read anywhere really. Like I can sit in a bar and read. The noise doesn't bother me. But when I'm reading fiction, it has to be like at night. I don't look at my phone. I'm laying in bed, have the lights on. It's just like me in this fictional world because I like to kind of like feel very immersed into it and have no noise, nothing. So that's like one of my favorite things to do at night. So at night, I don't want to journal really because I'm thinking about reading. So, but then when I'm reading, sometimes I'm like, oh, I should be journaling, or oh, I should work on my traveler's notebook. So it's just how it is. Yes, Katie, you're very helpful. Thank you. That's a really good. I've been saying for like months I want to start doing this long form journaling. I just haven't been doing it. Um, you need to find your everyday carry, and I still need a new journal for longer format. Yes. Well, I'll tell you, I think I'm going to be using the Galen leather notebook that came with my, which now I don't even know where it is. So maybe I'm not going to use it because I'm looking at my shelf and it's not where I thought I left it. Like I know for long form journaling, I would not be able to use Hobonichi because I don't like the pages. So I wonder if Stalogy would be good. But then I'm like, I don't really like grid for long form journaling. I prefer blanker lines. So, yeah. Katie, let us know what you use for long form journaling. And then maybe it's like we tell ourselves that we have to find the right tool and the right notebook before we can start doing that, but we should just pick up whatever notebook and start journaling. And if that's what helps the words come out, then you just keep it that way. I don't know. One line with heavier paper. Yeah, so I'll show you. This is how long I've been wanting a long form journal. I bought this like a year ago, maybe longer. This is from Barnes and Noble. It's just like Middle Eastern or like Persian pattern I really liked because I wanted my long form journaling to not be a traveler's notebook, which I've said before and I've said why. And I want it to be kind of big because I know I'd be writing a lot and I want it to be pretty. So like the act of me writing in it felt special. So I bought this and Zen Glyphs channel, I think she buys this brand. It's like the Prince and Pauper or like Pauper Paper Company or something. Okay, sorry, it's in here. Yeah, Peter Pauper Press. Really like nice thick pages, like thick lines. I feel like you could really write in this and not feel pressure with like maybe the setup of like a Hobonichi or even the Stalogy where it has stuff at the top. Like this would really just let you be a little bit free. Because I write bigger, I think some of the Japanese line paper, the lines are too spaced too narrow for me. But as you can see, it's just been sitting on my desk, like looking at me every day, but I haven't started long form journaling in it. So maybe this will be what I use. I don't know. I really just want to have one long form journal and just be messy in it. Whether I write like a bunch of pages or then the next day I just write like random thoughts or just like 3 words or something. And then maybe the day after that I'm writing 20 pages about a problem I have. Because I have this issue where I want to separate out like, okay, this journal should be for like working through things or psychological things, and this journal should be for hopes and dreams. It's like, no, just use a $1 notebook or something. It's like I overthink it. Yeah, heavy paper. Katie said I should be working on my planner journal stack video for 2023 that I keep saying I'm going to do, but I have zero motivation. It can't be just you because I'm feeling that zero motivation thing is really just going around. So just blame like just blame the air or something because I have that same feeling. Yeah, and I want to say that this notebook from Barnes & Noble, these are not expensive. I want to say this was like $12.95, which for like a super heavy journal that has gold lined pages, this was actually cheaper than the Flex notebooks that you might see on display there. I haven't started writing in it, obviously, but I was very impressed with the quality. Your mister is always laughing at me tugging my tote from room to room, but it works. Yeah. Wait, tugging? That sounds perfect, though. You need the tote thing works. A lot of people do everyday carry totes. Or the Delphonics. My issue with Delphonics is I want to try one, but because it doesn't have closure on the outside pockets, I'm afraid that if like you knock it over, it'll spill, or like I couldn't take it anywhere on the metro or anything like that, even if I have it in a tote bag. But if it stays on your desk, I think it probably works well. And then you're right, sometimes I do want to go in the kitchen and work while I'm cooking, or just not be at my desk. So if I had things in like a tote or an everyday carry, I could like pick it up and move. Also, the building I live in has like these gorgeous, like, it's a gorgeous lobby, and there's a pool table, and we have a little coffee bar, and like all these nice couches and nice areas that I could go sit in, but I never do. And then Katie said, you're currently using a Midori B6 Slim for my long form because I like to use nice paper on my fountain pen. So I started a composition book many years ago. Is it like one of those regular composition books that you can get like at Walmart? Because I know there's that brand that's decomposition, that's like an eco-friendly composition style notebook that a lot of bookstores sell. And I tried their paper, but it was not fountain pen friendly, at least in my opinion. Yes, Maria's here, welcome. Use the Hobonichi Cousin Daily pages for journaling. Okay. The week's portion in my weekly planner and the monthly is my highlight of the day. Okay, I like the highlight aspect. It's nice for me to have everything in one. So you're only using the cousin. Okay. So, I mean, so you can only write one page. Like, let's say you were writing one day, do you stop? Or if you have more stuff to say, do you like go over into the next page? That would be my concern with journaling, is that I want to, if I'm working out a problem in my head, I need to have a lot of pages, but maybe it's good to only stop at one page and it's less like intimidating. You have Hobo Weeks or my everyday carry. The format works for me. Maria, I will say for years I used the Hobonichi Weeks when I was at work. It just worked well for me just because I didn't have to write that many things and I always had to carry it around. And I commuted a lot back then, so I loved it, but I didn't get anything for 2023. I bought no Hobonichi for 2023, and since we're talking about it, I was scoping things out on Amazon today thinking like, oh, maybe I should buy a cousin in English and just try that again. But like, I think it was just the whole like FOMO feeling that I didn't do any Hobonichis this year. Isabel started journaling in those wide line Barnes & Noble notebooks with the open binding that lay flat by Studio O. Those are great for long form journaling. Studio O, okay. I'll have to check it out because I'm always at a Barnes & Noble because there's one down the street from me I can walk to. Which, by the way, Barnes & Noble really has stepped up their notebook games over the years. They even have Kokio at some of mine. You have a tote, Maria, and you move around the house or take it to Barnes & Noble, and I have everything with me when I plan. Yes, I need to work on the tote thing. Because then if, like, you wanted to just, I mean, the weather's bad here to go outside, but, like, if you just got the urge to walk somewhere, but, like, while you're walking, or let's say you're out running errands, or maybe you don't want to journal right now, but if you're going to be out later at a coffee shop, if you had the tote with you, then you could. Southpaw, welcome. Michaels has an awesome tote by Artist Law. Is it the black one? Because I have that. I don't know if it's from Michaels or a different art store, but it's like black with handles. I have that for my art supplies. Okay, it's on a different shelf. But since we're talking about this kind of topic, this is actually what I should start using. This has my art supplies in it. This is a Milu bags, which is a Greek, a lot of my leather stuff is from Milu. They're amazing. And I bought this years ago. I love this old, like, I don't want to call it old lady, but it's like very like 1910s, 1920s. I had taken a art class, like a virtual one, and we had like specific things you were supposed to buy, like wash paints, and I forget what it was called. It was last year, and you had to buy like Tombow brushes. So I kept everything in this nice leather thing, which is basically like a Delphonics. So I'm not in that art class anymore, and I haven't really been using these items that much. Maybe I'll take them out and make this a stationery, but this is big. I don't think you can see, but this is not something, if I had it filled up with stuff and I put it in a tote bag, this would basically take up the whole tote bag. So maybe this will be something I keep on my desk. I don't know, but that's a good point. Thank you for reminding me of that. Whoops, and I just dropped all the markers and they fell. Anyway, okay, let's see. I need to keep up with the comments, I'm sorry. You're using Midori. Okay, I'm a fan of Midori. Always a fan of Midori. Katie used a regular dollar notebook, but this is when I used a ballpoint and I had no idea about paper quality. I started regularly journaling when I moved to California in 2020. Came a long way supply wise. See, you're like totally, like once you get into it, you just like learn more and more. But I will say, Katie, sometimes a dollar notebook and a ballpoint pen takes away the pressure of using other things, and you feel like you can kind of get messy or just jot things down and not feel like that pressure. So sometimes I do use like a ballpoint pen and just like printer paper from like the community printer here, or just regular printer paper bought at Target. 2000, not 2020. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, how long have you only been where you are for almost 3 years now? Okay, 2000. Whew, which seems like a long time ago, but not really. Maria usually keeps it on one page. If you have a lot to write, you write smaller. Oh, I didn't think of that. That's a good idea. You've only gone over another page 3 times in the last few years. Okay, so that's good. So you've been doing it consistently. That's another issue. The consistency, which did I write on here in my mind map? Um, we wrote regular schedule. So consistency is something I want to work on for desk setup. So let's just write consistency. I don't know if anyone's done like the KonMari method from Marie Kondo, especially a couple years ago. It was like a big trend, but her whole thing is like everything should have a place, and when you come home, you should put everything back in the place that it's supposed to be. And if everything has a place, you'll be able to tidy up and you'll be more comfortable and you'll actually use those things. And I use that method for a lot of like my kitchenware when I first moved to the back to the US. And it did work out well where I put everything back in the same exact spot so I knew where it was. So I feel like I need to implement that for my desk items, because what'll happen is I'll film a video and I'll set up everything and blah blah blah, and then like because it's late or I have somewhere else to be, I'll like push it to the side or throw it in a bag and like put it back later, and then it just doesn't happen. So it just creates more of a mess, really. Your favorite pen is a classic clear Bic stick. Okay, my favorite, the black blue ink. I'm sorry, I actually have one. I have a pencil case from college, like that I took to my first year of college, that I have somewhere here. And I open it up and like I was using those blue Bic clear ones, and I saved. This is even back when they were made in USA, but like I have one that's like completely empty, and I don't know why I saved it. I think it was just like, oh, like I finished a whole ballpoint pen in like my first year in university or something. Ton of neurons, but what are neurons? But I love my Bics. Yeah, sometimes you can't go wrong with the classics, really. That's why I still like I like writing with wooden pencils. If anyone uses these like general wood pencils, like the cedar ones, I just love the smell and it's just pretty classic. I feel like as long as you're as long as you're, what's the word I want to use? Not outputting, but like as long as you are journaling or you're creating or whatever it is, it doesn't really matter what level of tools it's at. Like if it's the cheap $1 thing that works for you, then you should just fully lean into it and maybe not feel like other things would work better. If that's what works, stick with it. It's I guess what I'm trying to say. Which is hard. It's hard in like a consumer world. It's hard in YouTube planning world when you see everyone else ordering all these cool things. You're like, oh, I should order that too, because if I had that Midori, I would journal every day. And then you order the Midori and you don't journal every day. So it's not the Midori, it's you. Was supposed to say ton of beautiful pens, not neurons. Oh wow, that how does it go from neurons to beautiful pens? That's a really um that's a really different thing there. I will say if you look at my video title for the live, Traveler's Notebook is in all caps, because when I started typing it on my phone, because I guess I type Traveler's Notebook because it's like how their brand spells their stuff. It's always in all caps, like when you get the emails from them and stuff. I guess it recognized that, and when I typed Travelers, it automatically changed every letter to capitalize, and I thought that was weird. But yeah, that autocorrect will really get you. So, well, I mean, I feel good that I did something I was thinking about. We got the mind map going. I just need to work on a little bit better system of keeping my stuff organized. And I even bought, and I do want to do a desk tour video. So like that's another, we'll do that like off of our content thing, like a desk setup or desk tour. And then actually for the everyday carry, that could also be a video that I do. I did do a what's in my pencil case video when it was like fall edition or like fall colors. I don't know if it was last year or was it 2021. And then did I do a video where it was like what's in my pencil case that I found? Oh, I can't remember if I did that. I found a pencil case that I had set up that fell behind a shelf up against my wall, and it was there for like a year. Cause like I guess it just like got stuck there and I never looked for it again, or I just forgot about it. And then when I went to move something, it fell out from behind the shelf. And then I opened it up and I was like, what was this? The mind map. Yeah, so we use mind map. I forget what, I think it was on one of my classes I did in grad school. It was just like methods we were learning to help. It's like the way your like brain, your frontal cortex processes things, and like that was one of the things we did was like this visualization exercise. And it's also a very corporate thing, I think, to do like these like bubbles and like thought processes. And then there's like action items, so it's like you have an offshoot and you can use a different color when something's an actionable item, or if it's something that you can control, or you know, all that stuff. I just like getting it down to kind of like look at it. And you could do this for anything, right? So if you have like a goal that you want to have, you could kind of just jot down what comes to your mind, each as an offshoot, so it helps organize them into smaller pieces. I don't know if anyone's ever done like a brain dump. I actually have a page on my Notion account where it's called Brain Dump, and I just like throughout the day, I just write things down that I want to look in further or I want to reference again. Instead of writing it down in a notebook, I just put it on my Notion. That way it's there and I can go back to it and see it easily, and it's all in one place. Yeah, I thought I did do that one where I found a pencil case. Yeah. Desk tours and pen case videos are some of my favorites. Also collection videos like washing notebook pen collection. That's really good. I did do like a fountain pen collection type video. I should do a notebook video because I have notebooks in a box in the closet that are from like other countries. So whenever I go to another country, I try to buy a notebook that's like locally made or like from a brand in that country. So when I was in Lithuania, I have like a handmade leather notebook that I bought at like a arts and crafts fair type thing. That was a guy who makes all these notebooks. And then when I was in Greece, I bought a leather notebook. It's not kind of like a traveler's notebook, but more like A5 size. That was made by a guy there. I mean, pretty much like when I was in Japan, obviously I bought Japanese notebooks. Even when I was in Shanghai, I bought Chinese. Well, they're like knockoffs of Japanese ones, but they're Chinese made. So I kind of like collect notebooks, I guess. So I have a whole box of them. I could film a video, so let's write that down. No, we'll just call it collections, and then notebook. Yeah, I love what's in my bag, what's in my pencil case, because I'm kind of nosy and I want to see what other people carry or like what they would take to a coffee shop. Yes, Greece is very nice. I was there 3 times. The food, it's like the best food in the world also, in my opinion. I didn't have one thing in Greece that like wasn't delicious no matter where I was. But I used to live close to Greece, so it was easy for me to go there on like long weekends and stuff. The Little Prince, oh, that's so cool. That Moleskine made a Little Prince collaboration a couple years ago. They still might make planners with Moleskine because I know there's like a Hello Kitty planner, there's a Alice in Wonderland planner, there's a Cherry Blossoms planner. I don't know if Moleskine does that every year where they change it, kind of like Traveler's Notebook does with their theme. But sometimes you can really find interesting Moleskines. I think I had a Snoopy planner in 2021. It was like Snoopy and Peanuts. I'm not sure. But I never read Little Prince. When I made European friends and they were like, when they showed me like that we were out somewhere, I was like, oh, the Little Prince, whatever. I'm like, what's that? They're like, how did you not read Little Prince? It's like, you know, every kid reads that story. I was like, well, where I'm from, we never read it, so I'm sorry. And I tried reading it as an adult, but I just like couldn't. I wasn't good at it. Did I have it in the French version or was it the English version? Maybe I was trying to read the Russian version. That's why I don't know. Yeah, I think everyone collects something, right? Whether it's magnets for your fridge, maybe you collect like fountain pens when you go to different countries, um, or postcards, or. But for me, it was always like notebooks. I don't know why. And then the one notebook I got in Lithuania, which is probably my favorite, I like was afraid to use it because the refills for it are like a weird size, because it's like handmade, right? So I don't know if he made them according to like a certain size. It's almost like a passport size. But I had bought from Walmart that like this is like a couple years ago. Their brand of notebooks like exceed the inexpensive like knockoff of a Moleskine or Leuchtturm, and it was the hard. I don't know if it was a hardback one, but it actually fit. So I was like, wow, this is amazing that the one I bought, this leather handmade cover I bought in Lithuania, like the Exceed brand fits absolutely perfectly. So yeah, that's the thing about Moleskine, which I'm gonna be coming up because I'm changing my planner a little bit. Moleskine does not have the best paper, but in my opinion, they have really good setup and they have really like I like the hardcover. I like having the strap on it. So I actually am gonna have a Moleskine. It actually was supposed to be delivered yesterday, and it has not arrived yet. And then they said they were gonna be delivered today, and I haven't checked my email, but I still don't have it. It's 10 p.m., so I don't know. Definitely, a lot of inks will smear and seep through on Moleskine, which is a shame, but we'll see if I change that up and use it as my work planner. So yeah. Oh, I'll just show this I bought. I'll just show random things I bought. Hi, Kat. Welcome. How was your week? Let us know what you're up to. We just did some journaling in a traveler's notebook. We did a mind map exercise. That was interesting. I got this at Dollar Tree the other night. I just like the colors. This is like it's like 1970s vibe. And it's a notepad that is perforated. So at first I thought it was two sticky notes and like a big sticky note, but it's just a notepad, but you could like tear off the bottom, or you could just use the whole sheet or whatever. You got bit by a dog the day before yesterday. Are you okay? Did you have to go get like a rabies shot? And then like, yeah, so I just, doesn't it like, it's like very like 70s. And like the cherry. I just like the color, love this life. So the reason why I had gone to Dollar Tree was because when I got that offer letter for my new life that's gonna begin, I was so excited that I wanted to print out the letter and put it in a frame. Because another offer I got from somewhere else, I framed the offer letter and it's sitting on my living room windowsill. And I was like, this is gonna be cool because I applied for 9 things and I've gotten 3 of them so far. And I'm still waiting to hear from 6 more. And like every time I get an offer letter, I'm just gonna put it in a dollar store frame because when I look at my wall and I see the frame, it like makes me feel good. So that's why I stopped in to buy a frame and I randomly picked up those sticky notes. And I got this Healthy Goals journal just because it's like a thin, made in the US, women owned. I think this is B5 size, but I like the layout of it because it's like your grocery list, and then and I wanted to try something like this. It's divided up by like the department, and then it has like a planning calendar for your meals because I need to work on that because I don't plan very well, and then I get flustered and buy stuff I don't need, or I have stuff in the pantry that's gonna go bad because I'm not buying the right things. And so I want to do it's like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. It does calorie total. So I figured I would try this for $1. It's not good paper, but it's just a couple months worth in here. Maybe it is all 12 months. I'm not sure, but I thought I could work on this, and I could even like carry this to the grocery store, and it's not like a big heavy thing. Okay, let me catch up on the chat. Sorry. You're okay? Okay, good. You're watching the Happy Planner shipping videos for some reason. I saw something pop up yesterday where someone did like a huge Happy Planner haul. Or shopping videos, yeah, sorry. Hello, I'm late. Hey Marilyn, how was your week? Let us know what you've been up to and if you have any fun weekend plans. I guess I like colors. Well, yeah. Go for the colors. That's a super cool way to journal your job history. Yeah, that's... It's just like this weird thing that like you want something for so long, and then when you get an offer, like I was like, I'm gonna frame this letter. uh, um, that's another reason why I want to do long form journaling, because I'm going through all these things in my mind and I have to make big decisions about this, that I need to be journaling about it to really feel like I get those thoughts out of my paper and out of my head and onto paper. So that's a goal. Disc planners. Yes, disc planners are a big thing. My issue with the disc planners that they sell, they're very like, they're too bright for me, or they have florals, or even the discs have hearts in them and stuff, and that's just not me. So I always look to see like what kind of, if they have like a gender neutral happy plan or something, but it's usually not. Staples does have that line of notebooks that I forget who on YouTube did a review of it, where it's like, it's basically disc planners and disc notebooks and you can interchange them. I haven't tried them though, because I felt like they're kind of pricey, because you know how Staples is, they like to charge a lot of money. You've been working, making and staining shiplap. What's shiplap? Stain, I'm guessing it's furniture, right? Or something like that. You stuff disc planners and they fall apart. Oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah. Yeah, Tool or Arc. That's what they look like. But they look, the reason why I like the Staples one is they're actually professional looking, so I could take them to work. But I don't know, I think just one of the like regular little notebooks was like $19.99 or something. I feel like I couldn't justify spending the money on that. Kind of like floorboards. Okay. Do you stain them colored, or are they like wood colored? Like a wood stain, or are they like green or something? It is cold here. I think tomorrow the low is like 15 degrees. Blue wood. Ooh, I'm sure that looks nice. Blue. I love blue. I was just doodling my week in my cat comics and my traveler's notebook, and then we painted with watercolors because I wanted to practice more with watercolors, and I didn't do a very good job. This book I'm reading, I wanted to paint the cover and write about it a little bit, and then I used one of my other fountain pens to summarize this week through my cat comics, and then here's tomorrow and Saturday. So ideally I would love to do it each day, like at the end of the day, sit down and just do a quick drawing of what I did that day, but I don't know, I kind of think I don't know. That's just like a perfect world. Some nights you come home, you don't want to write or do anything. But I need to remember what I did, so maybe I should take a sticky note and put it here and jot it down. That way when I sit down and have like a journaling session, I can do it properly. I don't know. You can pick up this and the cover and the notes page. But yes, that was like one of the appeals. Like you're putting together how you want it. But it seems like so much money. Yes, that does. I mean, that does sound exhausting. Ugh. I have a funny story about how when I moved to this apartment, I had not old, but I had a high top wooden kitchen table that I loved. And I wanted to stain it because it was very like brightly, it was like light colored. It's very 90s. And my old apartment was very light colored because it was very 90s. But then I was moving to this new place, which was like brand new and has all like the nice fancy fixtures and all that. So I bought chalk paint to stain it on my balcony of to stain the table on my balcony before I moved. And I'm not good at that kind of stuff. And I live in a city, so there's no outdoor space for me to do it. But I had a big balcony, so I could take the whole table out on the balcony, use the chalk paint, like stain and all that stuff. I did something wrong, horribly, horribly wrong, and I ruined the entire table. And I literally took it apart and threw it in the dumpster before I moved here. And then I just bought a new table on Wayfair. So that was something that we tried it and it didn't work. And I watched YouTube videos. I read the instructions carefully. I let it dry for the number of hours it said. I did it in this, was it the summer? All that stuff. And I just totally messed it up and ruined the table. The table wasn't expensive, like, so it wasn't like a really nice thing I ruined. It just was me being dumb. Vintage Beach, yeah, that look is very in. Maybe tomorrow morning you can plan unless you have to work on the weekends. Sometimes it's good to just like wake up in the morning and do something. Moleskin, I have a moleskin that's going to be delivered, and I can talk about that. I used to always use a moleskin. So what I've been using right now, and I have it in front of me, is my Nulty at work. And I found out I have not been using it. So I ordered a moleskin weekly planner in the regular size, not the big one, not the small one, because for years at my job, I used to carry one around with me because it's hardcover, and I have to sign a lot of papers at work when people come up to me and like, can you sign this? Can you do that? And having the moleskin planner was awesome because people would give me the thing to sign, and I could just like literally stand there and use it on my notebook. And it's also because it's not too fancy, I feel like I can be kind of rough with it and jot things down and really like work with the pages. So the Nulty, I feel like is too nice, and I had 2 site visits at work, and I was not writing things down on my Nulty. I was actually leaving it in my bag because I just like wasn't using it the way I wanted to. So I realized I should have stuck with a moleskin in the beginning for work, knowing that's what worked for me. But at least we tried something different, and I think I'm gonna try using the Nulty for something else. But I have a regular black moleskin on the way. It was supposed to be here yesterday, but you know. You make custom kitchens. Boyfriend's a contractor. We're going to build a house. That's awesome. So you're gonna get to. Are you gonna design the house and like build it exactly you want the way you want it, or is it like you go through a company and they kind of design it and you just pick out like your finishing? There's also great. I love them. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna. I should film a video about my moleskin, but maybe I'll just like talk about it on the next live once I start using it. For a friend, she has plans. Oh, cool. Okay, that's got to be hard. My work is related to construction, but I don't do a lot of actual construction work. I like kind of oversee the process from the government's perspective, I guess you could say. Um, grid composition, it worked just as great as any planner for much cheaper. Okay, well, that sounds good. Does it have rings, or is it just like a composition book like the old-fashioned one that has a binding? Um, Yeah, so I kind of figured that's what happens, right? Like you start your planner for 2023 and you have good hopes, and then the reality kicks in. And if I'm a firm believer, if like you're not using it, there must be some reason, right? Like it's not working for you, it's not whatever. So I gave my current setup a whole month and wasn't finding everything worked out. But my creative planner setup in my traveler's notebook with the weekly and this like planner I made for my channel, that's been working. So I'm very satisfied with that. I think I'm gonna add a third notebook for, I don't know yet, just maybe I could make this long form journaling. I thought about that too, Katie, where I could put in like a lined notebook in here, and then it's like I have my long form journaling, my creative journaling, and my creative planning like all in one space. But I don't know, I feel like you would fill up Traveler's notebooks so quickly with long form journaling. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Binded, yeah. I have an issue sometimes with spiral notebooks. Like this is a nice spiral notebook, but when you buy the inexpensive ones, they start to like, if you put it in and out of a bag or something, they really start to like go crazy and start stabbing you. So I prefer binding for that in that case. Did anyone see the Travelers Company came out with the coasters and the coffee bags? I wanted to buy coffee bags and like have a giveaway where I gave one away. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the coaster because it's like a vibe, right? And I have a coaster right now with like my iced coffee and like, you know. So when I went on the website today, because you have to spend $75 to get free shipping, I was like, well, I'll order some other things too. Of course, the bags are already all sold out, and some of the coasters were too. So I was like, oh, they always do this. They like send out these emails and make a big deal, and like everything's sold out. So I'm probably not going to go for the coffee bags. I just liked them. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're doing long form journaling, I mean, you could write like just about thinking about your job offer. You could fill up like 5 of these pages. So that's why I don't think it would work in this case. But it would be nice to have it all in one place. I don't know. You write very small because I used to write in my journal so much with fountain pen, so I wrote small. I don't use a lot of paper. Okay, see, I like to write in cursive when I'm long form journaling, and I like to use usually a German medium nib is like my ideal. So like a Lamy. So you can imagine that takes up a lot of space. But maybe we'll try this Pauper Press notebook from Barnes & Noble journal. This is like a true journal with like the gold stuff. And I just have to get messy. I can't like think it has to look a certain way. I just need to just go for it. They do sell out way too fast. I'm telling you, it's like I think that's part of their strategy, which it's changed a little bit since like the introduction of the partner shops, because you can always try to order stuff from partner shops or visit one in person, but they like to make this big deal about everything, and it's all over their social media, and everyone makes videos about it, and they're all hyped up about the new release, and then it's like they release it and they're all gone. So I don't know if it's part of their marketing strategy. Lamy Safari with extra fine nib. Okay, well, since you write small, I guess that's perfect for you. I'm medium all the way. And this is the All-Star, right? This is medium? Yeah, the medium. And then if anyone's ever had, I don't have it in front of me, the Pilot Kakuno, which is the one with the smiley face on the nib, and it's fairly inexpensive as well. That medium writes like perfectly. I actually have 2 of them. You want a journal? Oh, you broke it? Well, that's good, right? Because that means you used it. you put it to good use. Marilyn wanted to journal but don't have time. I want to practice calligraphy. I think that will also help me use a fountain pen. Marilyn, do you use fountain pens at all? I think we talked about this. I just can't remember. You haven't used one yet. Oh, I think we talked about you trying the Platinum Preppy because it's inexpensive and like not like. I think this is a good pen to use if you've never really written with a fountain pen. Although this is an 03, so you could probably get one that's maybe an 05. And it's like not very, there's not a lot of commitment with like a Preppy. Yeah. Oh my God, Paris is here. I was going to buy the... Yes, of course, seconds later. You see, this is what... But Paris, let me tell you, when I saw those coffee bags, I was like, I would use them like not just for journaling stuff. They're just gorgeous, and I would actually put my coffee beans or like something out on my counter in those, have one on my desk, like it would inspire my vibes. But of course they were sold out. And I checked yesterday and they were not sold out. And then when I went in the office this morning and I opened up the website, everything was like currently unavailable. And I was like, great, I should have just bought it yesterday. But yeah, their limit stuff drives me crazy. Yeah, Marilyn, I mean, you also don't have to journal every day. Like, you could just once a month on your Sunday off, like, you're just gonna junk journal and calligraphy and write about your month and just spend 10-15 minutes doing it. It doesn't have to be a daily thing. Grace Bauer Studio is here. Welcome. Let us know how your week's been. Welcome to the stream. We just kind of chat. What I did tonight was do my little cat comic of my week using a fountain pen in my Traveler's Notebook horizontal. And then I tried to use watercolors to paint the book that I'm reading. And then I use a different fountain pen, my Sailor, to draw my comic from last weekend. You'll know that there's some empty pages because I don't remember what I did those days, and I need to look at my phone records to see what I did. But we did remember what we did this week, which was good. You like the Moon Man? Oh, I think I've seen them before. I've never tried one though. I know I've seen them. Right, well that's the thing. I did notice, Paris, I don't know if you did, I swear there was no limit on the coffee bags because usually on those items it's like limit two per transaction or something. And when I clicked it yesterday, I didn't see a limit. So I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe it's not like truly limited edition. They have tons of them because it's just canvas bags they make, right? So I was gonna buy 2 and 2 to do a giveaway on my channel. And then they're already gone. I was like, that's probably what someone did. They bought like 100 of the bags and now they're gonna resell them on Etsy. Laminate some coffee labels so you can cook it. See, yeah, Marilyn, we'll just do our own thing and be creative, right? Let's just do it that way. We don't need those limited edition items. Yeah, so Gray Sparrow Studio, I used to do, but I've had trouble keeping up with it, my cat comics of my life in my Hobonichi A5 cousin, where I would like draw 1 or 2 things that I did that day through the eyes of this cat, who I don't think we have a name for. I don't remember if we named him. As like a way at the end of the day to kind of like decompress and just kind of like a memory keeping. So like I cooked and cleaned that day. And then so I would draw it with a Tombow like permanent marker, like one of the drawing markers, and then use colored pencils from Dollar Tree to just color it in. So I worked at the college, I got bubble tea, I did planning. I was frustrated with the red tape at work. I had coffee time. I had tonkatsu or curry rice for dinner. I went to the library. I got Chinese food. I had meetings. I packed. I got coffee. I went to Luray Caverns. Yeah, I did laundry. I watched Job's journal videos. That's Job, or what I think he looks like. I attended a Zoom with one of my favorite authors. She did a book talk here. I had to go to Georgetown for work. So because this took a lot of time and I did the whole month of July and then I just did it sporadically, I decided this year, instead of spending the money on Hobonichi, I was gonna finally try a Traveler's Notebook dated insert, because I never actually bought any of the dated ones before, and do my little drawings in the little horizontal line, because then it's less intimidating and you could do it quicker. And I found myself drawing with this Lamy All-Star with the Waterman Blue ink, and there's just something about it that drawing with the Lamy was a lot of fun. And tonight we tried drawing with my Sailor, which turned out okay, but it was too scratchy because it's a Japanese nib versus the thick German one that I don't think I would continue drawing with this pen. It's great for writing, not so much for drawing. That's just my opinion. Google Maps saves my bacon when it comes to what I did every day. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Because I'm using my phone to be live, normally I look at my iCloud photos to see what I did that day, but I'm not looking at my phone right now. Yeah, see, Paris, I wonder if they didn't put a limit on it by accident, because usually there's a limit on everything on that stuff. When I bought the book series tote bags, I swear there was a limit. Whoops, there goes something. I swear there was a limit on these, because you could only buy like one of the big and one of the little, or something. I don't know. Drives me crazy. And they'll probably restock, or it'll be like one of the partner stores will try to push them online. I don't know. Oh, they did have the coffee bags. I just imagine. Okay. See, Marilyn, you're DIY. I wish I could be DIY, but then I mess things up. Like my whole kitchen table that I had to throw out because I totally ruined it with the chalk paint. Love the cat sent to be a zine. Well, Paris, I was talking about how one of my goals, because we also did mind mapping tonight, so we planned, like, we visualized different things we want to do and broke it up into different sections to help your brain compartmentalize it and do your action steps. So that was mind mapping. One of my things is I wanted to like create a logo for my channel, and I think I would do it with my little cat guy, who I still need to name. I don't know. I just have fun drawing him. Ironically, I don't even have a cat, so I've never had a cat in my life. Yeah, I thought I saw that the diner set was going to restock in their email or something, but I didn't go for the diners because we don't have good diners here, so it just makes me sad. Practice makes perfect, and there's YouTube. Yep, that's why I think sometimes if you just spend a little bit working on something and you do have a failure, like my kitchen table, which was a total failure, now you know how to approach it differently next time, or you know to not approach it, and that's what taught you not to try doing it. Right? Well, Paris, I'm apparently, well, it's going to happen, but I'm like having a total career change this summer. I'm moving to a different state. I can't talk about it yet because it's still like semi-confidential and all that stuff. But like, I have a feeling I'm not going to be, I could maybe have a cat, but I feel like with my new lifestyle, I probably won't be able to have any pets. The reason why I don't have any real pets here, except my fish, who I love, is it costs so much money around here to have a pet. Like normally you pay a pet deposit, right? Like in any apartment. Here, my rent would go up, I think, $200 or $250 a month just to have a pet. A month. And I just like couldn't justify that. So I just get my pet fixes through all my friends and coworkers and stuff that have dogs and cats. Oh, you have a fat cat? What's your cat's name, Marilyn? Just gonna go diner with the coaster and coffee with complete shipping. Now I'm gonna be petty and not get. Yes, please be petty, because I'm petty too. I got so annoyed because I was gonna get something else, and that was also said currently unavailable. I was like, forget it. Like, I think it wasn't even like a limited edition. It was one of the inserts that was for some reason at Traveler's Company was unavailable, so I couldn't meet my $75 even if I tried. I was like, forget it. Pet deposits are so dumb. You don't have to pay a kid deposit. Yes, I've always been saying that. Like, but why does it have to be per month? This is even a deposit. So I'd have to pay, I think it's $500 deposit plus $250 extra a month. And it's already insanely expensive where I live. So it's like, forget it. Career change. 400? So is it per pet, I guess? Yeah, see, to me that's insane. I feel like that's unfair. Because if you added a second person to my unit, I don't think I'd even have to pay more for a second person. So you're telling me I need to pay more for a little cat that's just going to sleep all day? That's wild. Yeah, 250. And I'm probably like the only person in my building who does not have a dog. Everyone has a dog here or a cat. We have like a pet of the month club. They send out the email. They're in the lobby. Like it's this whole thing. And I just don't have one because I travel a lot for my job, and I used to travel internationally a lot, so just having a pet, I would have to deal with going to the kennel or getting someone to watch it. It was just like too much. Faticus? Oh my god. Angel, because she was looking at her back. Aww. Both names are nice. Yeah, you need to start an Instagram Instagram for your Sphinx, and get that money rolling in. You need sponsorships from Purina. They need to pull their weight. Does anyone have any plans, like for tomorrow or Sunday? Is there anything specific you're getting to do? I'm waiting on my CVC sponsorship. CVS sponsorship. There's an Instagram account you can follow that's like, I forget, is it CVS with Penny or CVS with, what's her name, Marcy? Where she like shows you how to get stuff for free at CVS or like pay almost nothing with like the coupons on the app versus the coupons in person. I've done it before where I've randomly like clicked add different coupons on the app, and then when I went to check out, it made like something I was buying that was $9 be like $1.50, and that involved no planning. I just like tapped it on the app and it magically worked. So CVS, don't be sleep. If you have a nice CVS near you, don't be sleeping on those coupons and the extra care dollars and all that. I'm waiting for my Stadler sponsorship. Yes, look at the you have, and I found this out, Paris. If you there's those things where it's like you have to spend $20 to get $5 back. I found out that that $20 is pre-coupon prices in store. So if you have a manufacturer's coupon that's like $5 off, and the item's $20, you still meet that $20 threshold. You only pay 15, but then you still get the $5 extra care bucks or whatever the promo is. When it's online, it has to you can combine stuff with, I mean, not online. When it's in person, you can combine stuff, which is crazy, but not online. Yes, randomly, my CVS, because like some of them are different, mine has like a grocery section, not fresh food, but they have actual like milk and eggs, and they have frozen vegetables and stuff. And like there will be random coupons that's like $3 off a $5 food purchase. So you could go and actually buy stuff and use that coupon. Facebook's kind of dying out. I feel like Instagram and TikTok are the thing. I would love to do TikTok, but I feel like it's just a lot. And I don't know if I have like the attention span for the TikTok. Well, I'm not definitely not the coupon lady, but I do some different you know, I do finagle stuff where like you can combine coupons. They don't tell you can do that, but if you click add on the app and you check out, like I do that even at the grocery store. Like if you go to Giant and you just use the app and you just add clip coupon like on your phone, and when you put in your phone number and you check out, it automatically comes off your total. So if it's stuff you're already buying, you should just click it, because then when you check out, you get like whatever off. I know. See, the thing about TikTok, and we did this whole thing at my university job where we study like student retention and student interaction and like stuff like that. The whole TikTok craze is kind of like how students are today. Like everything has to be done, and you have to catch someone's attention like that 30 seconds. So that's why TikTok's like the big thing, because that's the attention span that young people have today, which is why things like Facebook and Instagram Reels are a thing, because they're quick and that's what everyone wants to watch. But for me, I already feel overwhelmed. You know how much extra stationery I can get. Also, look at stationery. If y'all are in grocery stores, go down the stationery aisle of your Safeway, of your Kroger, whatever it is, because once in a while you will find they have stuff on clearance that's like name brand. So one time I got those Pilot Precise pens for like 98 cents at my Giant, because there was a, clearance rack of them. So don't sleep on grocery store stationery purchases. Yeah, I think I watch a lot of TikTok videos on Instagram, because people on Instagram will upload TikTok, like dual platform or whatever. But then there's all like the people with the comments and all that stuff. It's just too much. It's too overwhelming. Yes, and Dollar Tree. Absolutely Dollar Tree. I always talk about this. Do I have anything in front of me that's from Dollar Tree? Like the knockoff Apica notebooks. That glass dip pen that I got, that was from Dollar Tree. Here's one. My Dollar Tree had like the Zebra Z grips that are just like the Zebra ballpoint pen. And they had the Zebra Sensations, which is the colored pencils, just like randomly at Dollar Tree. And then they also had those brush pens that I used. These like, it was a 3-pack of just like brush tip markers. Well, we have multiple Dollar Trees. Some are horrible, and if you go in there, it's like a crime scene, and then some are really good. So you have to know which one to go to. Yeah, but Paris, I think that's kind of like the future. Is like attention spans are just so. You also always have to be connected to something, and if you're not, yeah, sometimes you just have to like go off the grid. There's so much coming at you in today's world, like all the time, whether it's like from your email and your messaging, your texting, and like your zooming, and just like always something. Yes, Maria, I think TikTok is overwhelming. Some of my friends are really into it and they follow certain people. Um, and when you're out and about, you see people filming the videos and stuff. And I'm like, that's fine. It's cool that you're into it, but like, can you please just get out of the way? I'm at Target trying to buy my stuff, and you're doing your little dances in the aisle at Target, and I just need to get laundry detergent. Well, Marilyn, I'll tell you the only way to get better at editing, because I didn't know how to edit anything, is to just do it. There's a couple videos on YouTube. It depends what thing you're using. I use iMovie on my MacBook. Once you do a couple of the things, it kind of becomes muscle memory and you'll be able to do it more and more. Yeah, Maria, I like YouTube because I just search for what I want. Like, I don't have to see all these other things. Like, I search, like, either the people I want to watch, or I just click subscriptions, or like it only shows me really like the suggestions are usually only like about planners or notebooks or whatever. It's not all these other dances and stuff. Yeah, the thing about being off the grid, I kind of there was a new word I learned the other day, like not off the grid. I forget what they called it. Someone was doing like a self care video or something on Instagram, and or no, it was reset. Was it called resetting? I don't know what it was. And it's basically like going off the grid for a couple hours and just not looking at your phone and not looking at any screens. And yeah, I try to do that. It really does help. It might not seem like it's helping at first, but when you do it a couple times, you feel better naturally without even thinking about it. Yeah, Marilyn, once if you have, I don't know if you have a Mac. If you don't have a Mac, I'm sure you can use, I don't know what other people use to edit videos, but I thought I would never get the hang of it. And once you do a couple, you just get better and better. Now I even know how to like download audio from like the YouTube audio library and edit it and use it in my videos. Which I'm really behind on making my videos. Sorry, y'all, but to be honest, I'm having more fun doing lives because then I don't have to edit and it's just like real time and we're just chatting and it's like we're all sitting around at Starbucks. Yeah, you're right. It's the curating. I also couldn't get into Pinterest. Is anyone into Pinterest? I felt like Pinterest was that way too, where it was just too much at once. Like you scroll around and you just like you see everything at once. I'm sure it's great for getting ideas and being inspired, but it was just like sensation overload for me or something. Yes, go outside. I went for a walk yesterday, even though it was absolutely freezing, and just felt so nice. Sometimes I don't even listen to my headphones. I'm just like outside walking. And I notice I'm looking around like everyone else is looking at their phone or whatever, but I don't know. Sometimes you just need to go back to like nothing. Well, okay, so it works well for you because if that's how your brain works and that's perfect, but like I tried, I think I have a Pinterest account from like years ago when it became a thing, probably in like 2012, and I just like couldn't get it. Like I would click things and I would scroll and then all my coworkers like, "Oh yeah, just look on Pinterest, blah blah blah." I get that. I'm just like, "What? This was too much for me." Well, Paris, I'm glad you're here on this live. So you don't have to do your own live, but you can always hop on when we do one here. I'm still gonna make videos. I just with what happened in my new life change offer that I got Tuesday night, and I've just been so like emotionally excited and confused and like nervous that I haven't been able to focus um, on filming any videos because I have ideas as we see in our mind map, but we just have to do those ideas. And then I'm also behind on my research project I have to conduct before I graduate in May. You pin things and you never revisit them. Now I prefer Instagram or school time. Yes, the recipes, Katie. I finally learned because I'm so done with these things. I finally learned like how to save people's video, like bookmark things on Facebook and Instagram. So when I'm scrolling through and I don't really want to think, and I see a really good recipe I want to try, I'll bookmark it, and then when I know I want to go buy the ingredients for that, I'll open up my saved videos and I'll literally just like stand in the grocery store and look at the caption to see what the ingredients are, and then I can buy it, and then when I get home I watch the video on how to make it. Yes, Maria, that was my issue, is that it was, you could see all the things, but it really was to bring you to someone else's website, and that whole format just like threw me off. Google for recipes, okay. Yes, Maria, I'm definitely going to be sharing because it's going to affect my um, lifestyle and my finances and my. I'm hoping I can. I'm planning on still doing this in some way, and YouTube, of course. But I don't know what my schedule is going to be like, and my living situation is probably going to be different. But I'll be moving this summer, so we have time between now and then to learn how the adjustments I'm going to have to make. Yeah, Marilyn, I started to get into cookbooks a couple, probably in November, because I was feeling overwhelmed with not knowing what to cook. So I bought this cookbook. I forget what it's called. I'll have to show you all next time. It's like one of those classic cookbooks, but it's like redone recently. Um, and it was it's just really thick. It's like a huge book, but I bought it because it has all kinds of like different foods. So like it'll have, a whole like chapter on, let's say, vegetables, but then it has recipes from other countries, and it even has the name of that recipe in that language. That way when you like go to a Korean restaurant, like you know what it's called in Korean. And I just like the diversity of the book, and it also has all like the basics on how to do this, how to do that. So I bought that, and I've been thumbing through, but I haven't really picked something to sit down and focus on. Meal planning, yes. Oh my goodness, the meal planning drives me crazy, and I hate y'all to break it to y'all, but I live alone, and cooking for one is horrible. It's not fun. It feels like you're doing all this work and all this cleanup, and it's like wasn't even worth it. A lot of times, eating out or buying cooked stuff in my local market and bringing it home to eat is just cheaper and easier. I also have this weird thing now where like I don't like I can eat leftovers, but like when you freeze something and then reheat it, it has like a weird taste to me. So I can't even like batch freeze my food that I cook because I don't like eating it later. Or it has this weird, I don't know, it's me. Like I don't like the taste of it. So when people are like, oh, just make a big batch and freeze it, I'm like, no, because then I won't eat it. So cooking for one is just the worst. Thank goodness for air fryers. Yeah, Paris, I'm honestly at the point now where I know I'm ready, like time wise, this all lines up perfectly, and I'm just, if I go and it's horrible and after a year I have to move somewhere else and go back to my old job, I'm perfectly fine with that. And it's interesting that a lot of people in your life will not understand what you're doing, and they'll talk you out of it. Like my one coworker is like every single day she knows that I'm trying to do this, but she'll talk me out of it. Like she'll literally call me and be like, "So, are you still gonna move this summer? You still think you're gonna do that?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Yeah," because I did a lot of introspective soul searching for this, and like I know I want to try it. Doesn't mean it's gonna be successful, but I know I want to try it. Well, I don't know exactly where I'll be yet, Maryland. There's 9 places all over the U.S. Um, some are in the Midwest, some are in the South, and one's in Texas. So we'll see. Fridge taste is so gross. Yes, I don't know if it's just me, but like, when you buy bread and you freeze the bread, like slices of bread or whatever, and then you like toast it, or you take it out of the freezer to do whatever you want to do with it, it has a weird like taste to me. I can't do that anymore. So even frozen bagels, all that stuff, like I can't do it. So I have to buy bread, and I usually buy like fresh loaves of bread, or buy individual bagels. Like that way I just eat it that day, or I know I have to force myself to eat it before it goes bad, because that's the other thing, I don't like wasting food. So garbage piece and everything on a pizza. Yes, okay, that sounds like everything but the kitchen sink or whatever it's called. I do that with soup. I just like throw everything in broth. Like the other day, like I had a bunch of mushrooms that were gonna go bad. I had a bunch of colored carrots that were gonna go bad, and I had something else that was gonna go bad. And I had frozen vegetable dumplings from the Korean market, and I just like threw that all in a pot with broth, and I made like a dumpling soup, because otherwise that stuff would have went bad the next day. Yeah, you know what? I think people hate Paris because they wish they could do that and they don't want to admit it. Um, And I honestly think that's what a lot of my coworkers act like, because I'm like younger than them and I'm alone and I really could just do whatever I want. But a lot of them have families and obligations and houses and mortgages, and like they can't up and try something different. They're kind of stuck where they are, and I think they kind of like resent you for it. Quiche egg rolls. Oh, I made homemade egg rolls and it was a lot of work, but they were delicious. I made pork curry egg rolls. Well, I just kind of made up my own recipe. I don't know what you would call it. That's mostly how I cook. I just make stuff up. It was like I used pork and cabbage, and I cooked it in the pan with Japanese curry seasoning and a bunch of other stuff, and then I put it in egg rolls, and it was delicious. Now I'm getting hungry. What did everyone have for dinner? I had leftover. I made like a taco thing yesterday, and I had leftovers. I will be making my favorite. So tomorrow's gonna be so cold that like you're not gonna want to be outside. So I decided I'm gonna have like a stay-at-home thing, and I bought all the ingredients to make my favorite Korean chicken recipe that I used to make ages ago. My first corporate job when I lived in Delaware before I went overseas, and I made it every Thursday night at like a potluck in my apartment with my coworkers. So I was like, I'm gonna bring back those good memories this weekend by buying the ingredients to make this dish and have that like reminiscing. Yeah, silent moves. That's honestly why I'm not sharing it with everyone. Like some of my coworkers know, my boss doesn't know, although she always knows that I'm kind of like ready to leave because I've already like maxed out where I can be in my office. Like there's nowhere else for me to go except leave to work in a different office. I'm already too high up to like go anywhere else. Except take her job, but she's not leaving for a while. So um, sometimes you just have to like not tell people because that'll influence your decision. And I've done a lot of things in my life where I tried to please people or I tried to make a decision about really what someone else wanted, and this decision is definitely going to be my own. You had your son's pizza crust and wine. What kind of wine did you have? Was it red? I'm trying to get into wine, and my local Total Wine store, it's like a big one. They have like wine classes, and I think I'm gonna sign up for one. Rosé, okay. Tacos with crispy cauliflower. Maria, is it like normal tacos with the crispy cauliflower, or is the taco shell made from cauliflower? Because I saw that in the grocery store the other day that they have cauliflower tortillas now or whatever. Rosé is basic. I like rosé. I have this thing where I don't like white wine. I'll drink it if I'm at like a wine tasting. White wine makes me feel sick. Like it just gives me a weird sensation where red wine and rosé don't do that to me. I don't know how that works. Okay, you're into wine. Okay, like I wish the wine I buy is according to the label and if it looks cute and also the price. But so I was starting to like go to the wine store. That was part of my like New Year's resolution to like try different wines. The other thing is I love red wine, but I love alone, and I can never have more than one or two glasses. So it's like I try to use the vacuum sealer and have it the next night, but like it doesn't always turn out that it works. And then I feel like I'm wasting the wine. So that's a struggle when you're like red wine, but you live alone. Breweries, yes, breweries are awesome too. Um, I'll try different like drinks and all that kind of stuff. When I was in Asheville, North Carolina in August when I did that road trip, I went to a lot of different like brewery type places and I enjoyed myself. You just haven't had good wine. Well, I mean, some of the wine tastes the same to me. I will say like the one winery we go to in New Jersey, um, I was going there like back when I lived in Delaware. I've always loved every single thing that they've had there. And me and my sister went the day after Christmas this year. Ugliest labels and cheap. The best one I had recently was from, it was a South African. It was like a South African Shiraz, or however you say it. It was like a semi-sweet one, and I bought it, and it was amazing, and I would absolutely get it again. And then I bought an organic one from Sicily that was on display at Total Wine because I had just finished watching White Lotus season 2. Which takes place in Sicily, and if anyone's watched White Lotus, you know what the vibe is in that show. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have myself a little White Lotus moment with like my Sicilian wine, and like hope no one tries to kill me or whatever. cook with red wine. Yes, Marilyn, I have an Instagram recipe saved where you cook this. Um, I don't want to. What's it called? Beef shoulder, short ribs. I don't know. I've never made something like that, where the recipe is like you use an entire bottle of red wine. So I was figuring I can open up, have one glass, and then pour the rest of the wine into the Dutch oven and cook it in the oven. The only one who drinks wine, you just have to hope. That sounds so good. What was the South African called? I don't know. I don't know if I still have the bottle, but it's in like the Shiraz section, which I'm finding out is like my favorite type of wine. White Lotus is really good. The second season's better than the first one. It's just a lot is happening. There's a lot of, it's almost satirical in the drama. There's a lot of weird drama. There's just a lot going on. I just had Shiraz for the first time last week and I enjoyed it. Yes, I think it's a good like overall wine where it's like not too, it doesn't have too much of a bite and then it's not really sweet, but it's like right in the middle, I guess. I don't really know the wine words. Is anyone watching anything good or in the middle of any series? I just finished Women at War, which is a Netflix series, a French Netflix series about women during World War One, and it was really good, like really good, but really hard to watch. There's a lot of heavy moments. It's very graphic. It's very sad. It's just it was written well and the acting is amazing. It has a bunch like of contemporary French actresses who are kind of like famous, but it was just really like I couldn't watch it all the time because like it would have like kind of make you sad. So, but just if you're into like cinematography and history and storylines of they're like based off of true stories, it just was really good. But like after I watched it, I was like, I need to only watch things that make me laugh and like Judge Judy or something because it was just really heavy to watch that kind of stuff. Wednesday, is that the new one with what's her name? She's always like on the red carpet now. Jenny Ortega. The Woman at War is on my list. Oh, it's so good. But you might need to like take a break. Some of the storylines ends great. Some of the storylines do not end the way I would have loved them to end. There's a lot of intrigue, a lot of confusion, but it's heavy. And don't watch it with little kids because there is some graphic activities on all fronts, including war on a battlefield. That's all I'm gonna say. I had to fast forward through a lot of the parts. Mon's here for Monica the Journal. Hello. Happy, well, I guess, is it Saturday where you are? It's Friday night here. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to do more Shiraz. I need this drama. I'm going to watch it tonight. Graphic. There's just all kinds of graphic activities. The one actress, the nun in it, she is so great. Like, I want to actually see what else she acts in because, like, I thought her performance was just, like, phenomenal. I watch a lot of foreign things, I guess. There's a Japanese show, if anyone's watched it, that came out about Maikos. Like, I don't know the official word for it. Like, when you live in a geisha house in Kyoto, it's like a little drama. Is really good too. Yeah, Saturday morning. Do you have any plans this weekend, Mon? Like, are you doing anything specific? Did you watch it, Paris? The one that's what's it called? Like Maiko House or Cooking Makanai? Yeah, where she's like a chef. It was good to watch. Like it's weird. Like I don't think I finished it yet. I watched probably more than half. But it's just it's so different from anything else that you'll watch on any streaming platform. Just like the dialogue, what's happening in it. It's its own little cosmos. Yes, and it's wholesome. The only thing is, like, sometimes late at night you don't feel like reading subtitles, which is why I don't always watch things like Women at War or The Makanai, because I'm just, like, not in the mood to have to read subtitles. But it's really good, I thought. Hoping to catch up on journaling, editing YouTube videos. Yes, I did a little bit of journaling on with my Traveler's Notebook Weekly, drawing my cat comics. I haven't done any videos this week. It's just been a crazy week. We did some mind mapping of things we want to work on and some of the video stuff I need to do. But I'm kind of not forcing myself to be on any schedule. I felt like there was kind of pressure to make videos But now I think I'm just gonna do them as I feel to make it fun, because this whole thing's supposed to be fun, right? You're lazy, I'll put in English. No, you mean you do dub? I can't do dubbing at all. I think it's because no, I wish I could. It would. I think I don't know. It drives me crazy the dubbing. When I was in what country? Also because like I speak other languages, so when I was in that country, I had to watch it in the original language because I just wanted to hear how it was. But when I was in Kazakhstan, or was like, what country was I in? Oh, I was in Armenia. I forget what country I was in. We went to the movie theater, and we watched an American movie that was dubbed in what was it? It was dubbed in Armenian, but the subtitles were in Russian. So I had to read. So I don't understand Armenian, so I had to read the Russian subtitles. And but then I'm seeing like American actors and actresses on the screen, and seeing their lips, but hearing it in Armenian, and then reading the Russian. It was just a complete failure. Just like that's why I can't do dubbing. You don't have time to read. Good on you though. Yay, Kim's here. Hi Kim, happy Friday. Thank you. Yes, my cat comics, which I don't have a cat. Ironic. Bring me joy to like sketch. I found that I really like drawing them with my Lamy All-Star fountain pen. It just somehow works. Yeah, you're right. Video should be fun. Let's just do what we do in our own way and schedule. Yes, I agree, Mon, 100%. What is that cocktail of languages? Yeah, it was a lot. There was, then when I was in Kazakhstan, I went to see a Sherlock Holmes film that was it dubbed in Russian? I think it was dubbed in Russian, which wasn't as bad, but it's just hard to follow, to like see, you know they're speaking English, but then it's dubbed, and yeah, it would throw me off. I have a lot of languages in this brain. I went to college for languages, so it was like I studied 4 in college, and then I studied 2 in grad school, and then I lived in one of them long term. So, and then I used one at my job. So it's kind of like I've always been using languages. That's another thing I want to get back to in 2023. I do want to make a language notebook. I watched some YouTube videos where like people do like language notebooks or study notebooks to see how they set up their journaling and all that stuff. And there's also like study journals. And I want to do something like that, but I'm like, do I really need to add another journal to like my journal collection? Because then it's like another thing to follow up on. So I need to work on that. Amber's here. Hey, Amber. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better. Did you cook anything fun for dinner? What's your favorite language? Oh, that is such a good question, Paris, because I love Russian, and it was my first language I started learning as a child. Half of my dreams are in Russian. Um, but I love this. It's weird. I love German, even though I really struggled with German, and I still do to this day. I think it's actually harder than Russian. It's harder than Chinese. It's just hard. But I love the way it sounds. Oh, that's the other thing I'm watching on Netflix right now, Biohackers, which is a really great series. I watched the first season. It's about like a girl who goes to medical school, and this famous professor killed her parents when she was little, and she witnessed the killing, but the professor didn't know she witnessed it. And she does all this research and figures out that the girl is like an embryo baby, where they were trying to make perfect babies in test tubes or whatever, and it was considered illegal and unethical and all that stuff. And she's like trying to avenge and like get close to the professor, so she gets a job like part-time in her lab, or she's like a student at the school or whatever. It's just a lot of things going on, but it's a really good contemporary German series on Netflix. I'm learning Korean. Any tips aside from consistency? Well, I will say consistency is key, because if you don't use the language, you forget it. I never took Korean, but I would just say like the number one tip. This is what I always tell people who want to learn languages, because like by education I'm a linguist. That's what I used to work at. The hardest thing I see Americans struggle with languages is they always have to compare it to like American English. Like just have an open mind, and when you approach something, don't question it too much. Like, let it flow, because people are like, oh, well, we don't do that in English. Well, yeah, because it's not Korean. So kind of just have this like open mind. Um, and another tip I have, this is my second biggest tip, which people think I'm crazy for telling you. Watch cooking videos in that language. Google your favorite Korean dish, but in Korean on YouTube. Go to a Korean chef's YouTube channel and watch them cook the recipe and listen to them as they do it. Um, Cooking videos and cooking instruction contain all parts of a language. They contain command forms of verbs. They contain numbers and measurements. They contain action, sequence of action. They contain past tense. They contain narratives within the chef talking about, like, oh, well, I love cooking this thing. So like, watch cooking videos in that language, not a language learning video. Like, go to that chef in that country who's famous and watch their videos to the normal Korean audience, teaching people how to make this Korean dish, and just watch it, whether first time with subtitles, first time with translation at the bottom, whatever. But like, follow the recipe, read the recipe, just all those things. I feel like cooking videos hit everything of a language that we would all use every single day, but we don't always realize it. Hobonichi language journal, and I'm ready for the excuse. Yeah, right? I'm like, oh, I should do a language journal, and then I can buy a new notebook. You love how German sounds too. I don't understand nothing. My first language is Spanish. I picked up Portuguese, yes, and French easily, but German or Korean, that's like a dream. Well, I'll tell you, like, I took Spanish all throughout middle school, high school, and college. Um, and because I took Spanish, I can like read a lot of French. I know that seems crazy, but like, it's very similar. Korean would be awesome, but probably really, really hard. Although I found German to be hard too. I just like the way German sounds. What was that series called again? Marilyn, is it the one? Is it Biohackers? Like bio, like biology hackers. It's really cool because it's also different than a lot of other things you see streaming. Just like that Makanai Japanese one and the Women at War. It's like just kind of different what's going on. Yeah, cooking videos, Kim. I'm telling you, that's I remember when I was in school, we actually had to film ourselves like doing a cooking video to like finish one of our classes. Because if you think about it, it really does hit everything: numbers, measurements, verbs, objects, cultural references. And then because you're watching the person doing it, it connects the visual acts of what they're doing to the linguistic things that they're saying, and helps connect it in your brain a little bit. Watching cooking videos, never thought about that. Good advice. Yes, and it's something easy and free you can do, right? Like, you don't need to buy a textbook or something. You can just go on YouTube and follow some famous Korean chef who has 10 million subscribers and just watch their videos when they come out. Pronunciation is hard for me. Trying to speak German is hard for me. I have a southern accent. Well, Marilyn, if it makes you feel any better, when I speak in German, they all think that I'm Russian because I speak German with a Russian accent. Same with when I speak. Wait, am I backwards in it? It's when I speak Polish. It's the same thing in Polish. I have like a Russian accent. First language is Spanish too, and the vowels help me learn the Korean vowels. Oh, that's interesting. And I guess, yeah, Spanish and Korean are gonna be very different. English first. Know a lot about know a lot of Spanish, but wouldn't say I'm bilingual. Also took French in school for 3 years. Cannot tell you anything but basic French. Hey, I think if you can say anything in any other language, that's awesome. Whenever I go to a different country that I don't speak the language, I always learn hello, thank you, and where's the bathroom. Like when I was in Finland, even though everyone in Finland speaks English, I was like, no, I'm going to learn these things because I don't want to be rude. French is similar in Italian too. Yeah, you're right. I can understand and read, but I probably sound way too American. Well, and you know, Spanish is so different everywhere. It depends where you are. Like, Spain Spanish, when I was in Spain, that was different than what's in Mexico. It's very different than what's in Puerto Rico. And it's very different than what's in New Jersey, because South Jersey Spanish is a thing. You learn Spanish in the field of cooking in restaurants. See? Amber can tell you that cooking words are very useful when you're learning a language, because it's a communicative practice, right? It's something you're doing on the spot, and it's kind of instant, too. We need language shenanigans. Don't get me started, because The language shenanigans thing, something similar might be happening when I start my new life this summer. So we'll see how that develops. You learned Spanish. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. You speak Greek? I used to speak a lot of Greek, and there's a funny story behind that, but I don't even want to go into that right now. But I used to understand Greek very much. I took Greek for a summer. So yeah, language shenanigans. I should make that channel now, Kim. That way I save the main name. Spanish is very different from different countries. Yes, I learned that when I had to learn like the word for straw, like what you drink out of when you like get a drink, is different every single Latin American country. It drives me crazy. You're in South Jersey and Puerto Rican Spanish. You are so right. So yes, let me tell you, Paris. Back in the day, when I used to go, my friend used to work in Ocean City as like a beach tagger when we were in college, and we used to go visit her. She lives in Egg Harbor Township. Well, she did. She's not there now, but like we would go to Vineland, and I remember like when you go to a lot of the places in Vineland, the Spanish is first and the English is second. It's a very different Puerto Rican. Yeah, it's very Jersey. It's a totally different thing. Yep, that's true. Totally, completely different in Chilean Spanish. Yeah, and the good thing is like if you're not from there, you can kind of be like, oh, I don't know, I'm an American. Oh, the Greek story is not even. Yeah, just let's just say there was someone in my life for 7 years, and we spoke Greek. Yes, Puerto Rican representation, especially New Jersey. The Greek story. Oh, that is a long story, and yeah. Um, I don't really need to speak Greek anymore, so I stopped studying it. Like Dominican mix or something. Yes, the food is good though. Yeah. If I could learn any language for no reason and then be totally like, I would learn Latvian because I love the way Latvian sounds too when I was in Latvia. Um, and I love Danish. I watch a lot of Danish shows on Netflix. If anyone else needs any other Netflix recommendations, Rita is a really good series that's from Denmark that's on Netflix. It's about a teacher who's kind of like marches. She's like her own rebellious. She's like a cool teacher, and it's about her like adventures being a teacher in a public school in Denmark. And there's a lot of like deep moments, but also a lot of funny moments. That was one of my other pandemic things. Like got into all these like Danish shows. I don't know how that happened. It's like, oh, I should learn Danish. If I could have a full time job where I just learn languages, because I went to I went to language university. I did all these programs where you're like either in the country or you're taking the language for like 8 hours a day. It's like what I studied formally, so I definitely missed that. That was fun. Oh, you went to Rhodes? Okay, that's a good story, Kim. Forget my Greek story. Anytime you get escorted by the military, that's a much better story. I've always wanted to go to Rhodes and Crete. Never been to Crete. Although honestly, I don't plan to go back to Greece anytime soon. I would like to go. Does anyone have any like summer travel plans you're gonna do? Maybe anyone's gonna go to Japan now that they're finally open, and then you could go to all the stationery stores. I have to do some kind of trip either in April or May or the end of March. I don't know how it's possible going to be possible um, before I start the next part of my life because I won't be able to take time off like I would. Yes, go to Japan, just do it, even though it's a super long flight and it would drive me crazy. Bluest water you've ever seen. Okay. Paris, I think you'd be super safe in Japan. Um, my issue is I hate sitting on a really long plane by myself, especially if I'm in coach because I'm too tall for that. I have to fly to Albany for work on Monday. I'm gonna be in Albany all next week, and usually it's one of those like really tiny planes where sometimes when I stand on the plane I can't stand up straight. I'm walking down the aisle and I have to turn my neck because I'm 6'4", and those little planes are not for tall people. And then one time I took a flight from Thessaloniki, Greece back to Moscow, and I flew on Elenair, which I'll never fly again. But like, I actually could not fit my legs in the economy seat. I had to like turn my legs into the aisle. So that's why a 14-hour flight to Tokyo is just not going to happen right now. Benadryl juice box. Well, I mean, the thing is, Kim, if I'm with people or I'm sitting next to someone, like a friend or whatever, like it doesn't feel weird because I can stretch out my legs and they know that I'm struggling. But when I'm by myself and I'm like next to strangers, it just feels awkward. Not Japan, but London and Germany. That's right, you are. You're gonna go. I forget the name of the town, Marilyn. You said you're gonna be in Germany. You have friends there, right? He's visiting. She's visiting from Australia. That'd be cool. Yeah, I want to do a meet and greet Paris. That's one of my ultimate goals is to have like a, well, not necessarily just single meet and greet. I would love to have like a community like meetup yearly or something, or semi-yearly or something. Mon, I'm 6'4", which I think is 194 centimeters. I'm not sure. I know I need first class. Well, the thing is, when I used to travel for work, when I had to go to Shanghai and I flew from Atlanta, I was able to get business class because I had to be at work right away. So that was awesome. And then usually when I flew back and forth through Austrian Airlines, I could at least get the Economy Plus upgrade, which is like almost, it's not business class. Well, one time I did fly business class because I just couldn't bear to be in economy. But it's comfortable enough where it kind of feels like business class. Oh, Marilyn, he's Australian. Have you been to Australia? That's just too much of a long flight for me. I would love to go to Australia and New Zealand, but I'm not taking no 20-hour plane. You're 5'2" and get cramped. Right? And Amber, I'm telling you, they make them plane seats smaller and smaller now. Like every time I go on another trip, I just feel like, okay, y'all made these smaller. Yeah, let's go storm the Travelers Company headquarters and take all the coffee bags. Yeah, I think my brother's actually taller than me, or maybe we're the same height. Well, Paris, it makes you feel any better. I'm also at a computer most of the time. Well, not when I'm here. I'm in the computer. When I'm traveling, I'm luckily not. Yeah, I should. When it's a short flight, Maryland, I'm fine with just being in a regular seat. Like my flight to Albany next week, it ends up being like an hour and 10 minutes or something. So it's like for those flights, I just suck it up and just be uncomfortable for an hour. But when it's the 12-hour flights, I try to get an upgrade or I try to something. Right? I'm ready to like be petty with Travelers Company because they're just we gotta bring back the olive color. We gotta do something. I swear, in the picture they just sent out in the latest email, tell me if one of the passport notebooks in the picture looks teal to you. Because when I saw it, I was like, are they releasing a new color? It's like a turquoise notebook cover. I swear it looks teal to me. Oh yeah, and Australia was super hardcore with COVID. Like I had my coworker has family in Melbourne, and it was so strict that like you couldn't go within more of like a mile radius of your house or something, and you had to have like a pass to go to the grocery store and all that. So yeah, when the borders were closed, it would have been hard to go there. Well, I don't know if the Olive's gonna come back. I mean, I got my Olive, but oh, I have a low battery. Sorry, the low battery thing popped up, so we're probably almost done here. But um, love my Olive. Don't know what they're gonna do. Spray Paris. It looks teal. Like I'm telling you, I saw that. My first thought when that email popped in, I was like, oh my god, they're releasing a new color finally. But then I think it was just the way that the light hits the photo and how they did that. The blue looks olive, but I forget to remove the blue light from my phone. Yeah, I mean sometimes the blue looks black. Depends like how the light hits it. But then I have like the original blue, which is different. This is when it was a limited. I don't know. Whatever. I just want them to not be out of stock of stuff. Like, how hard is that? He stays around a month or longer. Yeah, I mean, that's like, if you're flying all the way there, you need to make it a long trip. So I want to go somewhere in April. I'll go to Europe at some point. But because I have like miles that I have to use that I'm gonna end up losing. So I need to go. I'm sure it's coming back. Don't worry. Like, I think Traveler's Company, their marketing team knows their limited edition, what they can do to people with this limited edition stuff. So don't worry. I'm sure it's gonna come back. Or I would say, don't worry with my Philly accent. Asian vintage is a few, but they added untanned leather pockets. I got it for 120 because I was desperate. My goodness. Well, I feel like if it's something you really want, and Traveler's Notebook is like one of the only items that gets better over time, most of your other stationery eventually will just get old and raggedy, but like your fountain pen and your Traveler's Notebook covers, and maybe like your Galen leather portfolio type items, only gets better. So it's an investment. I think they're gonna stock too. They have to restock the coffee stuff, Katie. It's driving me crazy that like literally it already sold out. Does anyone remember what time of year did they release the hotel stuff last year? I feel like it was springtime because when I was in Tampa and I was in the Paper Seahorse, which was in May, they still had some of the hotel and plane sets, and the owners were like, "Oh yeah, like everyone wants to order these because we have only a few sets left." Is it this one, Maryland? The Coffee House, Coffee and Notebooks, which I already got ink all over. I just like the green and orange and gold kind of retro color. But I think the diner colors are really nice too. Past midnight purchase. Kim, let me tell you how sometimes I'll wake up in the morning, I'm getting ready for work, and I'm opening my Safari on my phone, and I see the stuff I was looking up or Googling like late at night before I go to bed, and it's like the most random websites I'm on. Like I'll be on random like Stationery Pal, like a specific link, and then I'll also have another tab open where I'm reading about Sarah Michelle Gellar on Wikipedia, and then I'll have another tab open that's like bubble tea places around me. Like it's always like this weird hodgepodge of what was I thinking the night before, and like why did I like it'll just be the most random things, and I always laugh when I wake up and read that. April restock in July. Okay, so I mean, you could set yourself a timer. That's what I did for the coffee stuff. Not a timer, an alarm. I actually set an alarm because it released during the workday here. It was like, what was it, like 11 a.m. here? I actually put a calendar thing on my work calendar that was like, and I had a tab open already with everything in my shopping cart that was like, make Traveler's Company purchase. And I literally opened the tab right when my alarm went off, clicked at like update cart, added my credit card, and I checked out right away. So I think that's the only way you can really do stuff now. Yeah, and I think they should have limited letting people buy the coffee bags because you know people are going to buy them. Yes, you got to be smart about it, Mon. Like I knew I wanted the coffee stuff, so I was like, I'm gonna do it. Oh, Katie, you got to do pre-order? That was nice. But I feel like they don't always let that happen, right? Or no, maybe I did pre-order something. I think when I ordered this stuff, it was then you could pre-order it, but it wouldn't ship until a certain date. But the other stuff that I ordered also shipped with it, so I had to wait a few weeks or something, but I didn't really care. Just drives me crazy. Okay. Oh, see, okay. We need to invite one of the marketing people from Travelers Company into one of our lives on a Friday night, and we need to interrogate them and figure out what's going on. Do they have job openings? Like, what's up with that? Yeah, and I wonder if you go in person, Paris, if you can go to like some of the other shops. I don't know. I wanted to go to the one in Charlotte, the new one. I forget what it's called. Good Postage. Because I wanted to do like a trip to Charlotte because I've never actually been to Charlotte. I've been to other places in North Carolina, but now with my impending move, I don't think I'm gonna have time to do that. Yeah, or you have to like order from like one of the partner shops overseas. Like maybe that would be a way. I know I want to go to Good Postage. It looks so awesome. I haven't even been to Yoseka either. I've only been to Paper Seahorse, Omoizaka, and that's it. Did I go to a third partner shop? I don't remember. Right? Like, I'll go to Good Postage and I'll live it, and you can all tell me what you want me to buy for you. Because there are some things that you can't get online at these stores that I swear, like, you can only get it in person. That's how I feel when I go to like Kinokuniya and Daiso. Is like a lot of that stuff is just what they have. I know Yoseka is still on my list. Well, there's this whole thing about if I go to New York, I'm gonna have to tell my friends that live there, and they're gonna want to do this, this, and that. When in reality, all I want to do is go to a stationery store, and then they're gonna not want to do that. And it's like, and then it's like I could go to New York, but if I do go to New York and then I can't post it on Instagram because then they'll message me like, "Oh my God, you're in New York. Why didn't you tell us? We want to go here. We want to go there." I just don't feel like doing all that. It's like a struggle. That's like even when I went to Edgewater, I like didn't tell them I was there. They could have figured it out probably, but I was just like, I don't have. It's not on my like to do list to like schedule group activities and meeting people and going to Queens and going to Brooklyn. Like I just don't want to do any of that. Are they even friends? Good question, Kim. I mean, they're probably fine with it. Like they have their own things that they like, but I don't know. I just feel like they always. I don't know. They want to like take because it's their city and they want to take you here and they want to take you there, but like all I want to say is no. I just want to go to Osaka Stationery. But then they'd be like, what? And then I don't want to explain myself. Yeah, that's the thing. And then when you're going to big cities and you know people, like I have friends from college all around the country, and like I couldn't go to that city and like not see them. So yeah. Well, you guys would let me shop because you're stationary friends and you understand it. So my non-stationary friends would not understand it. Maybe we'll see. I mean, I was thinking about taking a day trip to New York because I could go for the day and just like taking the day off, leaving early in the morning, and then coming back late at night, and just going like on a Tuesday, so it's not nothing's crowded and it's just like easier for me to manage. So maybe I'll add it to my list. It's really going to depend on my move. Um, and after I go visit this place in the first week of March is when I'm kind of going to know if I'm moving there. So once I know that, then I can start figuring out my schedule and all that. So my phone is probably going to die in a minute. So if I do cut out, thank you for all joining me. I'm going to keep talking until basically it dies. I'll remember next time to have a plug-in charger. It was fully charged when we started, and I think it's going to die. So y'all are awesome for hanging out with me on a Friday night. I don't, I don't want to stop when I was in Germany. I regret it, but this trip. Yeah, Marilyn, just go to. You can go to any like, uh, what's it called? Not Kopf. What's it called? Um, I have to look it up. It's probably my travel journal from when I went to Dusseldorf, but a lot of like pharmacy type stores and groceries will have stationery aisle where you can get €1 fountain pens, €1 grid notebooks. Like their cheap stuff is like what we like. So just like go down the aisle in some grocery store, just look for a bookstore or something, they'll have all that stuff. Yeah, that's the thing because no matter where I live, it's no matter where I move, it's not probably not going to be in the Northeast, so it won't be close to New York anymore. So it's like I should start doing that stuff while I can. You need to, you do not need to improve your WPM. Uh, yes, thank you all for coming. This has been fun. Um, Honestly, like I just love the chatting part too. That's why I've always wanted to do a live because then it's like I'm interacting with you all. We're all interacting with each other in real time, and it's kind of nicer than just like scrolling through comments and stuff. Um, and I kind of like not having a plan. Like I was thinking, oh, I could do like every Friday night is when we'll journal, but maybe we'll just decide that day. All I know is tomorrow I'm cooking my Korean dish, and I do have to work for a few hours. So I'll do some work. I also have to pack for my trip on Monday. Yeah, Paris, you should do audiobooks. That could be your part time gig. And then use that money to get your first class ticket to Tokyo. Well, that's the other thing. I upload the lives, like I keep them saved. So even though I'm not making new videos, people can go back and watch the lives. I follow a lot of people that do lives, and I just like replay them at night when I have time to watch it, and it still feels like I was part of the live, so I like it. Yeah, Paris, you need to like look into go to Audible and see if they're hiring. Do some voiceover work or something. I hate my voice. You okay? I think I'm at 10% now, but I absolutely hate my voice. And one of the reasons why I did the YouTube channel was just like get over my fear of it and just not care. Um, when I used to work in a call center for a major credit card company, they used to make us sit in a room with our entire team of 35 people and listen to all your calls and point out what you did wrong and what you did right. And I felt so, I was younger then, but like I always felt so embarrassed to have to like hear my own voice and have other people hear my voice. I just like hated it, like hate. But with me doing YouTube, with me doing the vlogging, like it kind of just got over it, and I just don't care anymore. I hate talking when people like want to call you on the phone and be like, oh, I'm like, I don't want to talk really. Like, I don't like my way my voice sounds. Can you just text me? Like, oh yeah, I worked. I mean, like the job was great, but the work was cringe. It was just hard. Like, I hate calling, and all my coworkers are boomers or older, and they like only want to call, and they'll message me and be like, oh, can you call me, or like, can I give you a call real quick? And in my mind, I'm like, no, I never want to have to speak to you. You can send it in an email because then it turns into like a whole conversation. I just don't have time for that. Yeah, now Paris, all the phone calls are like spam anyway. I get a call almost every day. It sounds legit, so I could see how like an elderly person would get confused and give them their Amazon credit card number. You're for real. When I see my phone ring, my heart drops. I think it's me getting fired. I think it's something bad, and it's usually just like a scam likely call or like a like this. Every time I get this call, it's from a local number, so I think it's work or like, and I just my heart drops, and it's usually like your dentist, it's like CVS pharmacy, like reminder, blah blah blah, or it's like your dentist office or something. I'm like, I don't know why they gave me anxiety for no reason. Yeah, those. Does anyone get those calls where it sounds like a person? Like you say hello, and then like it's a real girl's voice saying like, "Hey," and you start talking to her, and then you realize it's like a recording of it. They're getting really good with that stuff. Yes, you're okay if people call you. Yes, there's just the whole act of calling, like hoping they'll pick up, like just makes your heart beat fast. Yeah, you always want a free cruise. Yes, thank God, because your schedule is just so busy that now you can have a free cruise every week. But I could see if you're elderly, you like would really think they need the last four digits of your social security number or something, you would give it because it's just like they sound legit. I don't know. That's when I usually just start speaking Russian or German, and then they leave me alone. Yeah, I've registered with it. Well, my issue was the person who had the phone number before me. She don't never pay her Toyota bill. She has the local electric company looking out for her. And whenever they call me, I'm like, this is not her. My name is not Sherry. Um, I don't know what to tell you. And like, so for some, and then like I get calls from like her ex boyfriend, and then his girlfriend called me one time, being like, it was this whole drama thing when I first got the number. For like the first 18 months, I had that number. And it was just really funny because like they never believed me that I was not Sherry. I was like, my name is not Sherry. I do not have a Toyota Corolla. I'm not lying to you. Like, they thought Sherry paid someone to answer the phone and pretend it was someone else. It was this whole elaborate scheme, but luckily all those calls have stopped. Right? I was like, she's trying to hustle and do her thing. Like, so what if she can make a Toyota payment? Like, I'm sorry, but like, I can't, she's out doing her own thing now. All right, well, my phone's gonna die because it's below 10% now. Again, thanks y'all for coming. If you think of anything you want me to do for the next live, I'm still gonna try to go live next. Sherry from State Farm. I'm still gonna try to go live next Friday night. I fly back to DC Friday afternoon, so I'm thinking I could still do some kind of live Friday night, but I probably won't have done any journaling or anything next week, so it'll be a complete ad hoc, like whatever I pick up for my trip, or if I get my flight gets delayed or whatever, I'll post something. But y'all have a good night and weekend and do what brings you joy. And also stay safe, wash your hands, stay away from people that are coughing, eat your fruit and vegetables, and get your sleep. I'll post when I think I'm going to do a live. I knew I needed to start at 8 tonight because starting at 9 last week, I was too tired. So I knew I needed to do a little bit earlier because I'm getting too old. And I still have to figure out how do I end the live. Okay, we're ending it. See y'all.